Joe Rogan Podcast. Check it out.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan Podcast by night, all day.
Little thing you say. Like, imagine having to be that measured in everything you say all the time. Just stick to the talking
that's
points.
my whole life.
God, that's stressful.
Yeah, it's super stressful, especially if you're a little intoxicated. You know, you get a couple of whiskeys in you, you start talking shit. You got to be responsible for every word that comes out of your mouth, even if it's stupid. But, you know, I think people get it. They get that people are human beings and they can stumble. Like, people, they forgave a lot of Biden stumbles until they were like, what the fuck? You know, a lot of people, like in 2020, were like, there's no way. There's no way he's going to do it. He was too old to run when it was 2016.
Yeah, but you know, he's kind of always been known for the gaffes. Like, because I remember when Obama picked him, that was the number one concern, was like, but sometimes he be saying shit.
Didn't Obama, he was famous to quote as Joe as a, don't worry, Joe will find a way to fuck things up.
I never heard that. But
There's supposedly, well, it's hard to know what the quote was, but supposedly.
He got out of all of it. I mean,
yeah, well, that's because the machine was behind him, right? So he gets into office, and you saw that like Mike Johnson guy, the Speaker of the House. He said that he had talked to him. It took a year to have a meeting, and he finally had this meeting with him, and he wanted to talk to him about something. And he said, "Why did you sign this executive order?" And it had something to do with liquid natural gas. He said, "I didn't sign that." He said, "Yes, you did, sir. You signed it. Can we get it?" And so he has the secretary print it up. He brings it in. He'd never read it, so he was just signing executive orders that he didn't even know. He didn't know what it was about. He thought it was about research, and it was about shutting it down. And so so there's a bunch of people behind him that want to do things, and they think it's for the best interest of the country, and they're all acting as a big group that's like the puppeteer of the president. And that's not how it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be that way.
But isn't it like that with every president?
I don't know. Because I think when a president brings in a new cabinet and the new cabinet starts doing different things, then you see what's happening right now, right? So they've already found thousands of criminals that had snuck in here and had committed multiple crimes while they were here, and the Biden administration had left them here, and they allowed them to stay in these sanctuary cities and sanctuary states, and Trump's just yanking them out and flying them back to Colombia and flying them back to Mexico and flying them back to wherever they're from. Get the fuck out of here.
No, but
and exporting them in planes. The Biden administration could have done this too.
Yeah, but I think every president that get in there, they do little shit different than the other side. But at the end of the day, the big major shit that would help out the average people, that shit, it always just falls short a couple of votes.
Trump is talking about getting rid of income tax and replacing it with tariffs. I asked him about that on the podcast.
What?
I thought he was joking around. Yeah, exactly. He was saying that it would be better for the economy. We'd have way more money if instead of you paying tax, these companies should be paying tax. Like, why are they making such a killing off the American people?
But the companies would just charge us bigger prices, wouldn't they?
Well, here's the thing. Could they, if we had American manufacturing that can make the same products? No. So the whole reason why
you can't make the same products for the same price.
But if you have other countries charge tariffs, and I think we've charged tariffs in the past, and it's an interesting thing. It's like you make a trade agreement. It's essentially a trade agreement. And his position has always been that one side of the trade agreement was unbalanced, and America does a stupid job at negotiating its trade agreements. So he wants tariffs and everything. That's what he threatened the guy from Colombia with. He said, because they didn't want to take the prisoners, the flights were coming over, and he didn't want to give them approval to land. He said, we're going to tax you, we're going to tariff you 25%, and then like in a week, we're going to jack it up to 50%. And this guy wrote like a poem to Trump. It was the most ridiculous thing ever. The guy's a wild dude.
I mean, that's the thing. Is like if you bring in the tariffs, you have to make them so high that the American goods were cheaper by comparison.
Well, you'd have to really ramp up American manufacturing in a lot of places. Like, we don't make phones. That's one of the craziest things about America. We can't make a phone. We can't even make a phone.
We make mistakes.
Well, I mean, maybe we could make a phone. Isn't there one phone that is made in America? Is there one phone that's manufactured here? I think there is.
I mean, even if it's assembled here.
Is it the nothing phone? Is that
I think
it?
it might be assembled here. I think they still have to get some.
They still
parts
have to
from
get
somewhere.
shit from China.
Yeah.
They have to get shit from Taiwan.
key
They have to get
pieces.
shit from India. Yeah. Everybody gets their shit from somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, the problem with American manufacturing is you can't do it for as cheap as you have to pay people.
Our
to live on.
problem is, first of all, we're addicted to buying new shit all the time. I have a bunch of phone lines, and one of my phone lines, I have an iPhone 11. It's like 5 years old. I don't notice when I'm using it. Like, as long as it still works, you don't notice on a normal experience. What do I do with my phone? I'm not fucking making complex video rendering. You know, what am I doing? I'm watching YouTube videos. I'm text messaging people. You don't notice, right? But we're force-fed this idea that you're supposed to get a new one every year. Like, it's one of the weirdest things. You get a new TV every year? You get a new computer every year? Why the fuck do you get a new phone every year? But every year they keep pushing us to get a new phone. If you make a phone that's American-made, more durable, and lasts more than a year, it would be worth a premium, and I wouldn't have to feel bad about, like, slaves in China making it.
Like, he makes it like the only phone. They need to bring back the Nokia phones. Remember those brick phones?
Yes. Well, don't
just
do that.
Indestructible.
Make it dope. Make it a dope phone. But, you know.
I don't know, man. I think those days are long gone.
The days of American manufacturing?
Yeah.
Well, I think with incentives, with government incentives and people understanding that this competition that we're having is all technologically based. And if all of our technology is getting made in another country, that's essentially a national security issue.
See, you know what I realize is, like, why, because sometimes, politics comes up in the green room, and I always separate myself from the conversation because I realize what everybody has, regardless of what sides of issues they on, is y'all have hope. I'm cynical than a motherfucker. I'm like, this shit was old. This shit bit. It's like, so for me, I'm like, I see the asteroid coming.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ain't nothing we gonna be able to do about that.
Fitness isn't just about what you do in the gym, it's also about your nutrition. But even with the best diet, some nutrients can be hard to get, and AG1 can help fill those gaps. AG1 delivers optimal amounts of nutrients in forms that help your body perform. AG1 makes foundational nutrition easy because there aren't a million different pills and capsules you have to keep track of. It's just one scoop mixed in water. It's such an easy routine to keep in the mornings. Ingredients in AG1 are selected for absorption, nutrient density, and potency, and are intentionally picked to work in sync with the whole formula for optimal impact. They are seriously committed to quality. AG1 is tested for hundreds of contaminants and impurities, and they're constantly reformulating their recipe to dial it in. This is all part of why I've partnered with AG1 for years. So get started with AG1 this holiday season and get a free bottle of vitamin D3, K2, and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase at drinkag1.com/Joe Rogan. That's a $76 value gift for free if you go to drinkag1.com/Joe Rogan. Seriously, get on this. I don't know, man. I'm interested to see. Look, if Robert F. Kennedy Jr. gets approved, I'm interested to see. No. If they start removing pesticides and herbicides and all these things that are killing people, if people's health improves, if we remove things from the human diet, if just start educating people on the importance of diet and exercise, I would love to see that.
Yeah, but the problem with that is, like, we live in a society where, like, none of that shit's gonna happen unless it make more money than what we already doing.
That's not necessarily true because you can motivate people. There's a real power in free motivation. And having a government that's like promoting health in that way would cause a bunch of people to take that step that they've been thinking about taking. So a lot of times motivation doesn't catch you flat. Motivation catches you looking for motivation, right? Like, you want to get your shit together. You're like, God, well, I just fucking need to get to the gym. I just need something. And then one day the government announces that we are going to turn the health of America around, and we are going to promote a national fitness regime. We're going to start bringing it to schools and kids to get people healthier. We're going to bring in organic food and start feeding kids when you feed them in public schools and
Didn't
you have
Michelle
free
Obama
lunches.
try to do something like that?
Yeah, she did. She got shut down.
Yeah,
immediately.
exactly.
They shut her right the fuck down.
Yeah,
they sit down.
No.
You're going to fucking kill our profits. Fuck this healthy shit.
Because that's the other thing. But what's different now than what's happening back then is we're so divided. If somebody in the government suggested anything was the best, the healthiest thing, at least half the country would be like, I'm not fucking with it for that very reason.
Yep.
You know, it's
You're
like
so right.
Yeah, it's like they attached Obama to Obamacare, even though it was not a bad thing, right? And if Trump was literally like, hey, every American, jumping jacks is the best exercise. People like, I ain't doing no Trump jacks.
Yeah.
That's your president's exercise. So it's like, we so divided, nothing's gonna stick.
I also think that the problem with like healthcare and all these things where people are getting paid, you're dealing with a bunch of different games that are being played inside a game that has a function, and that function is healthcare. Like it provides healthcare in a kind of shifty, shitty way. But the game it's playing is make the most money. That's the game it's playing. It's playing a financial game.
Yeah.
That's why it's coming up with reasons to deny people, and it's using AI to figure out how to deny people, and they deny a large amount of claims. So you got to look at it like what it actually is.
Funny?
It's not that it's all bad, but that there's a bunch of different games. Each person in that game is playing their own game. You have thousands of employees. You have thousands of people trying to climb the corporate ladder and make more money and get promotions and make more money for the company and impress the board. They want a fucking yacht, bro.
I'm talking about how much we're divided, but it's weird. That's the one thing they couldn't divide people on. Like I remember, like after the CEO got popped, like on CNN and MSNBC and Fox, the narrative was how dare people be excited? Because at first they tried to do what they do with everything, and they say, "Oh, look at these liberals fucking laughing at death," and then they realize like, "Oh, it's the insurance industry has fucked over everybody.
Everybody.
They don't give a fuck who you voted for. They'll fuck."
That might be the one. Healthcare might be the one thing that we can come to like a bipartisan agreement on, that health insurance and insurance companies in general. They're just captivated by what a corporation is. A corporation has a responsibility to its shareholders to make the most money. And that's a problem with the whole structure of it, is that no matter what the business is, they find a way to make money more than they find a way to do the thing that they're supposed to be doing well as a service to people.
If Trump actually fixed healthcare, he would go down as one of the greatest presidents. He would be like, it would be. I think it would be a whole different, like if he actually did like viable, real change to the healthcare system that like made it work for everybody.
Well, it used to be that there was no social media. So if you wanted to make a big change, the government could gaslight you on TV in these press conferences and bring out experts, and they could gaslight you and tell you what to do, and that was all the information you had. That doesn't work anymore. It doesn't work anymore. So this is one of the reasons why this is the best time ever to kind of revamp healthcare and revamp like the way people think about what is healthy. What is healthy?
But how are you going to revamp it in a way that still makes money?
Well, it doesn't have to. First of all, you're going to lose money. The country's going to lose money. It's like, who's going to get the money? There's an exchange of money, right? So if a lot of people are sick all the time, and a lot of people are on Medicaid, and a lot of people are on health insurance, the country's going to spend more money that's going to go to pharmaceutical drug companies, but it doesn't have to go there. We can't commit to giving it to them every year just because they've figured out a way to keep getting it. That's dumb. The right way to say is we have to look at the collective money of the country. Wouldn't it be way better if we spent way less on healthcare because people got healthier because they figured out there's no easy way to do it? You have to have diet and exercise. It's the most important foundation for any healthy human being. It doesn't matter what kind of exercise. It probably doesn't even matter what kind of diet, as long as you're like committed to eating healthy, real food. The whole thing is just diet and exercise and movement. That would fucking cure 70% of the problems we have in this country with healthcare, because people would be healthy. And so then you wouldn't be as susceptible to getting sick. You wouldn't be as susceptible to getting injured. There's a bunch of things that would probably likely stack up financially in our favor. But so that's how you make money out of it. You make money out of it because everybody makes more money. You make more money if you're healthy. You make more money if you're active. If you're in the bed all the time because you have back surgery constantly, or if you got this and that, and you got a lot of interruptions in your life, they're going to hiccup your career. They're going to hiccup your whatever you're trying to accomplish in your life if you're dealing with being sick all the time.
So you think if people were healthier, they would deny less people?
I think if people were healthier, first of all, you would need way less health care. First, that's the number one thing. If people were fit and they took care of themselves, there's a giant part of, if you looked at all of the healthcare issues that we have in this country, there's a giant chunk of it that's connected to diet. It's connected to the standard American diet. It's connected to eating too much calories, garbage food, obesity. All that is it's possible to shift that in a different direction. You just have to change the way people eat. And that you would see other people getting results, and then you would want those results. If you hear RFK Jr. on TV trying to motivate people to do this, and you see him working out, like maybe that's the thing you need that takes you from, man, I got to go to the gym one day, to fuck it, I'm going to the gym. This is it. And then if more people do that, there's more healthy people. If there's more healthy people, there's less losers. If there's less losers, the country makes more money. The whole GDP goes up. Everybody, you're going to do better. You're going to do better with whatever you're doing in life if you're healthy, because health is energy.
But how do you make people want, like?
You don't make them do it, but you inspire. And the government has never done that before. Why not try it? Why not try that? Why not try that? Why not and try to like fucking gaslight people and tell you got to wear a mask in your car or you're going to die? Instead of that gaslighting, how about pump them up? They scared the fuck out of everybody with COVID. How about they pump everybody the fuck up with health?
If the government wanted everybody to do anything, they have to pay them.
You know another problem with my theory?
I give you a tax break if you lose 40 pounds.
Here's another problem with my theory. Trump eats nothing but McDonald's, drinks Diet Cokes, sharp as a tack, 78 years old. Like, okay, I don't know what to tell you.
If he came back, if he disappeared for like 6 months and came back just jacked,
shaved his head. Did you see him play tennis with Serena Williams?
Nah.
He took his shoes off. He was playing tennis with Serena Williams.
I mean, playing?
Not playing like as good as she can play.
Well,
she's not going to embarrass him.
Obviously not that. But
they're
I mean,
volleying back and forth.
But I mean,
he's playing.
Is he running?
He plays tennis, man. He can play tennis.
Oh.
Like the guy plays tennis. Like I don't know how to play tennis, so I don't know if it looks good. But I'm looking at him hit the ball. It looks like he's doing it the right. He doesn't look like me. If I was doing it, I'd be a fucking spaz. I don't know how to play tennis.
Completely lost. Yeah.
Yeah, but let's see it. It's because
It was in 2015.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, God damn it. I got lied to by the reels. I thought it just happened.
No. 2015.
When Trump and Serena.
But check out the tennis. Check this out. She could clearly fuck him up. Oh, that's a nice, gentle serve. Look at it. But look at dude. He's firing back.
Both of his shots are out of bounds.
That wasn't good.
He's old.
I mean, but he is doing better than I would do.
Oh, way better than me. I mean, he plays tennis. There's video of him playing tennis. There's like photos of him playing tennis. So he does do some things. It's like there's a lot of guys that are too they can't go to a gym. It's just they need a purpose, or they need something that occupies their brain, so they play golf or they play tennis or they play games. They play a little pickup basketball. They do that for their health because they just can't do the gym thing. I just don't want to do it. So they do something that keeps them active.
I mean, most of the people I know do shit like that.
Yeah, so he's active.
Pick up basketball or
But that dude just eats cheeseburgers and shit all day long. Like
yeah.
it's like I don't know what to say.
But he probably also has zero stress.
Well, he has a way of letting shit roll off his back. I mean, he had to have some stress when that guy shot at him. But even then, he gets hit in the ear and he stands up and yells, "Fight, fight, fight." It's like, is this a movie? Are we in a movie? Is this like a simulation?
Yeah. And then his ear healed up like Wolverine.
Bro, it healed up pretty quick. You can see a little mark on it. You see there's a little tiny, if you look at it, like when he was right there, I go, let me see it. And he leaned in. You could kind of see.
You know what was
the
wild
ear's
as hell?
filled with blood vessels. That's why I bleed so much.
Nobody talks about it anymore.
No. You know what else nobody talks about? The guy who blew up the Cybertruck in front of Trump Tower. What happened to that guy?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
You don't know that story?
Nah, I don't follow any of the political stuff.
Well, this isn't even political. This is a weird story. It's a guy who was like, now, has it been confirmed that that's him?
I'm gonna look.
Let's pull up the story because I don't want to do it any misjustice. But this was after the election, correct? Yes, definitely. It was real recent.
New Year's Day.
Okay, New Year's Day. That's how crazy the news cycle is. Like you forget what day things happen. Like was that a year ago? No, it was last week. Oh, all right. There's like something constantly bombarding you all the time. So this dude,
That
give me
dude?
yeah. What is the story behind him? He was a special forces guy, right? And he was in, I think he was in a television show with Tim Kennedy. They had like a special forces TV show where they did something. So this guy's like, he's an operator. He's like a serious soldier.
Why a Cybertruck?
And he allegedly committed suicide with a large handgun, a Desert Eagle.
Oh, he rented it. Okay.
Large handgun, and blew up this thing. It says self-inflicted gunshot wound. The whole thing's weird, man. Nobody could imagine him doing this. Everybody's saying it doesn't make sense. Why would he? This guy knew how to make bombs. Why would he make a shitty bomb like that doesn't even blow up the building? It just blows him up in the car. And why would he do it in a Cybertruck, which is like the most durable car you can buy? Like that whole thing, the Cybertruck, you saw that video where I tried to shoot an arrow through it?
Oh, yeah.
My arrow exploded. That thing's solid steel. So why would you blow yourself up in a solid... You would get a convertible and fuck everybody up, right? If you were going to blow up yourself in a car and you wanted to do the most damage, you'd have a car that you'd want to blow apart. Those Teslas contain the entire explosion.
Yeah. I mean, did he leave some kind of manifesto?
I don't know if he left a note. Did he leave a note?
I think so. Yep.
They probably found it like barely smoldering outside the car. Look, it's like remember when they found the terrorist passports? The planes went into the fucking World Trade Center, blew up in front of everybody's face, just a gigantic, enormous pile of fire. And yet this dude's passport, just barely singed on the outside like a Bugs Bunny cartoon, falls to the ground.
That was what the whole Sean Ryan thing was about, because they sent the email, and then it was, did the guy write the email?
Right, that's right. That's right.
That's
right. Now I remember. God, I forgot. Sean Ryan was involved in
that
that.
was
And
like
then
2
people
days
were
later.
saying that that guy didn't send that to you. You got hoaxed. And then Sean Ryan proved that the guy did send that. So he was saying some stuff in there about drones and what was he saying? Let's put up what he said.
You know what I realized, man?
Shout out to Sean Ryan. It said, in case I do not make it to my decision point or onto the Mexico border, I am sending this now. Please do not release this until 1 Jan and keep my identity private until then. First off, I am not under duress or hostile influence or control. My first car was a 2006 black Ford Mustang V6 for verification. First of all, that's not true. That was not his first car.
No?
No, he had a different car. We'll find that out in a second. Put a tab on that, Jamie. What we have been seeing with drones is the operational use of gravitic propulsion systems powered aircraft by most recently China in the East Coast, but throughout history, the U.S. Only we and China have this capability. Our open location for this activity in the box is below. China has been launching them from the Atlantic from submarines for years, but this activity recently has picked up. As of now, it is just a show of force, and they are using it similar to how they use the balloon for SIGINT? How do you say that? SIGINT and ISR. Which are also part of the integrated comm systems. There are dozens of those balloons in the air at any given time. The so what is because of the speed and stealth of these unmanned aircraft, they are the most dangerous threat to national security that has ever existed. They basically have an unlimited payload capacity and can park it over the White House if they wanted to. It's checkmate. U.S. government needs to give the history of this, how we're employing and weaponizing it, how China is employing them, and what the way forward is. China is poised to attack anywhere in the East Coast. I've been followed for over a week now, likely from Homeland or FBI, and they're looking to move on me and are unlikely to let me cross into Mexico, but I won't because they know I am armed and I have a massive VBIED. I think that's vehicle something.
Vehicle-borne improvised explosive.
Oh, you're a military guy. I've been trying to maintain a very visible profile and have kept my phone, and they are definitely digitally tracking me. I have knowledge of this program and also of war crimes that were covered up during airstrikes in the Nimruz province, Afghanistan in 2019. by the admin, DOD, DEA, and CIA. I conducted targeting for these strikes of over 125 buildings. 65 were struck because of CIV, CAS that killed hundreds of civilians in a single day. U.S. FORA continued strikes after spotting civilians on initial ISR. It was supposed to take 6 minutes and scramble all aircraft to CENTCOM. The UN basically called these war crimes, but the administration made them disappear. I was part of that cover-up with U.S. FORA and agent redacted, they cut his name off, of the DEA. So I don't know if my abduction attempt is related to either. I worked with General Miller's 10 staff and on this as well as the response to Bala Murghab, AOBS commander at the time, redacted. Okay, he said, you need to elevate this to media so we avoid a world war because this is a mutually assured destruction situation. So he gave his LinkedIn for vetting, active duty, he get his profile, the whole deal. Now, the problem is that was not his first car. So Google what his first car was.
But why lie about that?
Because somebody might not have known. Like if you ask, like there's a lot of people that say, what was your first car? And a lot of people don't know. I've said it publicly, but like how many people know what my first car was? Right. So if you're a dude and you're hanging out with other dudes, like I don't know what your first car was.
You're suggesting someone else wrote that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if they get the car wrong, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Listen, I mean, that's a hell of a detail to get wrong.
Here, I had my first car was a 1973 Chevelle, but I only had it for like 2 days. It broke down, and the guy sold me a lemon, and I got my money back. He came and got his car. I think he knew he fucked me, And then my next car after that was a 1968 Oldsmobile. So I remember. I know what my cars were. Like, you're a kid, you get your first car, you know what your first car was.
Yeah, of course.
Bitch, if your first car was a 2007 Mustang, everyone's going to know. You're going to tell everybody, right?
Yeah, you're not going to forget what your first car was.
You're going to know. You're not going to be confused. You're not going to be confused as to what was your first car. You'll pull it out right away.
Yeah. I mean, I've never seen anybody get that wrong.
Your car is like the first time you have freedom. You can't believe you could just drive anywhere you want. You go to your friend's house. You're like, dude, I can drive. Yeah. It's one of the wildest experiences. I remember clearly just learning to drive and how wild it was. You could just drive. We're so used to it. We're basically riding around in amusement park rides. You would pay a lot of money to ride in. Like your car, that Audi, bro. That's like you're in a super capable sports sedan from 2024. So you're talking about like modern suspension and anti-lock braking system, and everything's controlled electronically, and you have a fucking super powerful engine. It's all taut and it moves differently based on how the fucking ground moves, like whether it's shitty surface or smooth surface. They just adapt to everything. That thing's glued.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, those things are crazy. This world that we live in today is so fun. You would remember your first car.
I'm having a hard time. This is one of the strangest searches I've had. I'll add this to conspiracy. I can't find anything that's coming up with a date before like January 4th, which would only be a few days. Excuse me, a few days after. I've done Google search and Twitter search. Twitter search didn't show anything, and I hit latest, and it's still not showing me anything recent.
Damn, somebody wrote a whole article about how that was not his first car.
I know, but it's just weird that it's blocking this stuff. Look at the thing.
Can you try the Brave browser?
How would they?
I don't know that it would have I'm on a website. It's like
Well,
I'm
what
on
was-
Twitter.
what was their
and the
proof
Twitter
that that
search
wasn't-
isn't giving me anything more recent than January 4th.
So when they say about discrepancies, does anybody use the car as a discrepancy? Because I definitely know I read that.
No, that's not what I'm even bringing up. I'm sort of saying like the search is being manipulated right now. Like I can't search for this.
What?
That's what I'm trying to say.
Ew.
Like searching for his name in car was it? I don't get anything. in the last 3 weeks. That's weird that no one on Twitter is talking about it.
Let me imagine this. Is it possible that if there was a story like this and you were trying to like cover up discrepancies and you didn't want people talking about it, could you just flood the search with a bunch of other stories on it so that it takes so many pages to get to it that you would never get it?
I would argue yes, you could, but I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing the opposite. I'm seeing no stories other than like within the 48 hours of it happening, which means I find that odd.
That is weird.
I'll go to page 2.
Bro, this is how checked out I am. I didn't even know this happened.
News isn't showing. It's like 4 weeks ago.
How about just write? Will you do me a favor and just write Matthew Livelsberger? How do you say it? Livelsberger's car was not first car. Just say first car.
I did.
No, but let me ask you. Just say first car was not a 2006 Ford Mustang.
I think that's too specific.
Yeah, that's too specific.
But just try it.
Yeah.
Was not first car was not a 2006 Ford Mustang.
I mean, I'm getting the same thing. That's sort of it's not the best way to do a search.
This ain't the little itty bitty teeny tiny bowl. This is Super Bowl 59. Get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 59. Scoring touchdowns is key to hoisting the Vince Lombardi Trophy, and you have a shot to score big by betting on them at DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. New DraftKings customers can bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code Rogan. That's code Rogan for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. New customers only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
The other thing was that the gun that he used is a crazy gun. That is a crazy gun to shoot yourself in the car. And the question is, like, when did he do it? Because it looks like the guy in the video in the car sits there, pulls up, and then the whole thing blows up. So are you telling me that he's blowing himself up and shooting himself at the same time? Like, does he have a button on his left hand that's the bomb detonator and then the trigger on his right?
I don't know, man.
Point.
That's just highly advanced, man.
I get tweets from 2 hours
The
ago.
Cybertruck might have shot him. Shit.
Say that again,
When
Jimmy?
I take off the word car from my search on Twitter, I get tweets from 2 hours ago.
So they're still tweeting like crazy
But
about
when I
it.
type in car, now it's
You get January
old
16th.
tweets.
Yeah.
And I'm on latest.
That's weird. You typed first car?
I didn't. I just typed in the word
But
car. It shouldn't matter.
tell me
if
the
it
whole
says-
Try
conspiracy,
first
though.
car.
I already
I
did
know.
that.
I know.
I reduced it so that it was less specific.
But what's the rest of the conspiracy?
Incorrect after the first car discrepancies. Click on that. Show more. So, including incorrect reference for the first car Livelsberger owned. According to public records, his first car was not a 2006 Ford, contrary to what is mentioned in the email. This has led to skepticism on whether the email is real or fabricated. That's it.
So, well, where's the?
According to public records, that was not his first car.
What? Show us the public records.
Let's see. It was a BMW, 2008 1 Series BMW.
I would add. Wouldn't this just be registered under his name? Maybe he borrowed one. Maybe his parents registered it. I think they checked his parents' cars too.
Yeah, but what about that 1998 is a Ford Mustang?
But it's 2006. There's a big difference.
See right here, why is Sean Ryan spreading an easily confirmed fake email? If your first car was a 1998 Mustang, would you say your first car was a 2007 Mustang? The dates don't even line up. So he had a 98 Ford Mustang. Why is the BMW circled?
Because
You see, the thing is, whenever weird shit happens, the first people to talk be full of shit. They the worst people.
So it looks like he didn't have. He had scroll down back again. So he had a 98 Mustang, not a 2007. That was his first car. Then he had a 2008 BMW, and then he had a Jeep.
Look,
He never had a
look, you can-
2006 Mustang.
You can see right when he got divorced because he got a Mustang again.
Yeah, I'm back, baby.
2018.
2018, he got a Ford Mustang
that's
GT.
That's that midlife crisis.
He got
right
the
there.
GT too. Greg Fitzsimmons got it. He got it with the EcoBoost. He was telling me how much he loves it. I was
He
like,
loves
I
the-
know,
the
but you didn't get the
EcoBoost?
V8. He's like, oh, gas mileage. I'm like, shut your mouth.
What you mean EcoBoost?
Oh, it's a great engine. Don't get me wrong. It's got plenty of power. In comparison to old cars, it's way more powerful. I mean, it's a fast fucking car. But the EcoBoost is just more fuel efficient. It doesn't have the same horsepower.
Oh, okay.
And the GT has the Coyote V8 that has that rumble. Makes you feel alive. You know, when you're... You ever been at a red light with a guy in a Mustang and they take off and you hear that sound? Especially if he's got a manual.
Now, my homie, when I was in the service, he had this fucking blue Corvette. I forget what year it was, but it was older shit. But he was obsessed with this motherfucking car, and it was so fucking loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely like a 70 something.
Ooh,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Or 60 something. It was like an old.
Oh, the cool ones.
Yeah, but it was like no modern technology in this motherfucker. It was loud as shit.
Corvettes are the only cars that looked good into the 70s. All the other American cars turned to dog shit. They became boxes. They became fuel efficient boxes. But Corvettes always had that. And then eventually they fucked that up too. And they made Corvettes like flat and looked like a wedge. They looked so stupid for a while, but now they're back. Now they're better. They're better looking now, I think, like Tony's. I think these new ones, the 2025s and 26s, they're better than any other car ever, any American car. Like the Corvette ZR1, it's the greatest American car that's ever been built.
Really?
It's 1,100 horsepower.
I don't know shit about it.
Oh, Brian Simpson, you ready to look at this?
You got one?
No, I don't have one. But this is, Google this. This is literally the greatest American car ever produced by a long shot.
Corvette Z1.
ZR1. It's got a giant wing on the back of it. It's literally a race car that you can buy. It has 1,100 horsepower. 1,064 horsepower. And this is not even tuned, right? Guys are going to be able to do things with these things. You're going to get these Hennessy guys.
Is this new?
Yeah. You're going to get these Hennessy guys that are going to like jack up the boost and make them even faster. These things are insanely fast, and insanely capable. I don't know if they've got Nürburgring times on them, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's the fastest American car ever.
How much does that cost?
I think it's like $190,000.
I think they're coming to Austin soon.
Bro, this car is fucking insane. It has carbon fiber wheels. It's insane.
Oh, man.
And it's beautiful. Like, look at that thing. I mean, it's just a piece of art and engineering, together. It looks like what you'd expect from a foreign supercar, from like Ferrari or McLaren or something like that. That's what it looks like. It looks incredible. I don't know how we get on the subject.
Oh, we were talking about how you remember your
first car.
Yeah.
Fuck, imagine your first car's this thing. Your first car should be a Miata. Everybody should drive a stick shift Miata.
But you can't buy because like some people get crazy and they buy their kids shit like that.
Well, it's like motorcycles. I was going to get a motorcycle license at one point in time, and one of my buddies was going to get it like a Ninja. I was like, bro, we shouldn't do that. We shouldn't just hop right on some crazy bike that... You got to get comfortable with the whole deal riding a bike.
Bro, if I told you how many of my friends or family that I've had to talk out of getting a motorcycle, like it's like that midlife crisis part where it's like, hey, bro, you never rode a motorcycle, you 40, you can't start now.
I got real close, and then the universe gave me a whole bunch of signs.
Nah, bro, because even the best riders in the world will lay that bike down.
Yep.
So it's like, you out here, you haven't ridden a bike ever or in 25 years. It's like, you going to get fucked up out there.
You ever see the one when the dude is flying down a country road and he hits a deer?
No.
Oh, this dude is like on one of those race bikes. Boom! Flying through the air.
Bro, I saw one the other day where it was the other way around. It was like the end of a parade or something. And there were girls in the street, and this guy, a bunch of motorcycles went by, but only one girl got hit.
Oh, God.
But it was like,
oh, God.
Oh, man, that's,
vehicles.
Yeah, but you can't
So
stop.
you didn't see this thing today. A Black Hawk helicopter collided with a American Airlines flight. over D.C. Yeah.
Over DC?
Over D.C., yeah. And they plunged into the Potomac, and everybody's dead. And there's video of it. There's a fireball in the sky. The helicopter collides right with the plane. It explodes in the sky. Watch this. Boom. They explode and collide in the sky, and then this is the plane. Oh, man. It's crazy. And it's only, I mean, it's not. There's nothing fortunate about it, but it's fortunate that it landed in the river and then it didn't land on apartment buildings, and kill a bunch more people.
Man.
I don't even know how that happens. I've never heard of something like that happening. And then where did the helicopter emanate from? Where did it come from, Jamie?
Probably Andrews.
Because this is a military helicopter.
Andrews Air Force Base, I'm guessing.
I don't understand how that's possible. I don't get it. But I don't know anything about flying.
Man, you know what? Honestly, man, it comes close to happening a lot.
Fuck. That's so crazy that a military helicopter collides with a American Airlines jet.
Yeah, and I don't think it was some kind of malfunction. It probably was bad communication. Somebody got wrong information.
Yeah, maybe. Unless we find out that someone was on that jet. Like someone who had like some
important was on
gravity
that jet?
drive scientist. some fucking dude who's at the forefront of quantum computing. And he's got a laptop with him that he's trying to deliver to somebody in Saudi Arabia.
This is why I checked out, bro, because it's so hard to take everything serious because it's like we live in such a ridiculous time where that is the chances are more than zero that what you said is the case just now.
Right, more than zero.
It's like we live in a ridiculous. We don't trust anything.
Right,
I don't. So it's like that could be somebody. Because my next thought shouldn't be, I wonder if somebody important was on that jet.
The other thought was that you can control those helicopters remotely. You don't have to have pilots.
No, bullshit. No way.
You can.
You can fly a helicopter remotely.
Yes. They use artificial intelligence now not just to fly helicopters, but also to fly jets. And when they use jets that are controlled by artificial intelligence versus jets that are controlled by the best pilots we have, the jets controlled by artificial intelligence win dogfights 100% of the time.
Yeah, but they gonna fuck some. I mean, listen, because all I have to judge
this is the tinfoil. We're putting on some tinfoil.
Yeah, but all I have to judge my artificial intelligence is the Google Gemini and ChatGPT, and they be fucking shit up.
Yeah,
so
but this is just consumer grade.
Propaganda.
This is consumer grade shit that didn't exist a while ago. And you want some coffee?
No, I'm good.
And exists now. So here it is. Black Hawk remote control demos have been performed by Sikorsky Aircraft and Lockheed Martin to demonstrate the ability to remotely control a Black Hawk helicopter. These demos have shown the potential for autonomous flight and the ability to perform missions without a pilot.
Okay, but here's the other thing, though.
But this is the thing. If it's such a super sophisticated piece of equipment, how is it not, if it is being piloted by a person, how do they not have sensors that detect where the planes are? How is that even possible? That you could be in a place where planes are flying 500 miles an hour, left and right, all over the place, landing and taking off, and you're going to fly through that and you don't know where the planes are? That seems insane. That doesn't even seem possible because, like, how could you exist as a military aircraft if you don't have a comprehensive analysis of everything that's around you all the time? We have sensors. We put them on jets. Why wouldn't we put sensors on the helicopter?
Well, they probably do have them.
So why didn't it work?
We're going to find out pretty soon.
Will we even know?
Or we'll never
But
find
everybody's
out.
dead, right? So how do you know when everybody's dead? They think the pilots are dead of the helicopter. I believe there was there supposed to be 2 people in the helicopter? Three people in the helicopter, and was it like 60 or 70 people? 60 people in the plane are dead.
Damn, only 60 people on the flight.
Small flight.
Yeah, so it was mostly a figure skating team. Figure skating.
Fuck, man.
Oh yeah, because that's the thing. I was saying it would have to be a group of people. Because if they just wanted to take out one person, why waste a helicopter? Like there's better ways to kill one person.
Yeah. Well, also, you want like the worst press possible. Kill a plane filled with young figure skaters. The sweetest, most delicate people. like twirling around on the ice. I mean, we think of them like they're almost like superhumans. You know, we don't even want to think about. That's why, like, when that Tanya Harding, Nancy Kerrigan shit went down, nobody even wanted to believe it's possible. The figure skating community's got thugs. Remember that?
Yeah.
The figure skating community tries to take out people by breaking their knees.
And that shit was ripe for comedy for like 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. People get vicious about shit, man.
People get vicious.
But here's the other thing. It might just be incompetence.
Most likely it's incompetence.
Somebody was just fucked up. Or
most likely someone made a mistake. Most likely.
Yeah.
But in this day and age, when you know about things that have happened, you know about false flags, you know about all kinds of shit that happens, you always got to wonder. And if we do find out, here's worst case scenario. What if a foreign government has figured out a way to hack in to our equipment and they can get a helicopter to fly right into a plane?
Oh, like this was a test run?
What if this is like proof of concept?
See, I think a better conspiracy would be if we found out that it was like Delta was behind it. You know what I mean?
Delta's trying to take out American Airlines?
Like Alaska was like, yo,
no,
we're going to fucking ruin their reputation.
But if you were a foreign country and you wanted to demonstrate that you have technical superiority over people, how would you do it? Well, first of all, you'd lay the groundwork, right? This is one thing they definitely did, right? Where's that lighter, bro? Got that? Thank you, sir. You lay the groundwork, and the groundwork is sell them all the shit they need. Sell them all the shit they need. And some of the shit you sell them, put a little back door in there. Put a little back door in there. And they've been doing that. That's a fact. That's why Huawei was banned from the United States. They banned Huawei phones. They were the most sophisticated phones. They were coming out of China.
Awesome.
They were so good.
They was great.
I've told this before. Forgive me if you heard it before, but I tried to buy a Porsche design Huawei phone. It was an amazing phone. It was like so much more advanced than iPhones. It had a bigger battery. It had like 100 megapixel camera. And then right before it was coming out, they put the ban. And then there was all these national security concerns, and Huawei is like spying on Americans, and something about their routers and their systems. They figured out there's like backdoor possibilities that were engineered into these things. So they've sold us cell phone towers and computer chips and all this stuff and all the components that you need to run your AI. So wouldn't it make sense that if they're a part of it, they're integrated into it physically, and we know they've put back doors on things, wouldn't you put back doors on the stuff that you're putting into jets? Wouldn't you it's like, who's making that stuff? Who's making all those electronics that are inside the jets?
I think we make those.
Do you think we make the chips? Do you think we make the chips? Do you think we make, what do we make? Do we make the hard drives? Are you sure? I don't know. Do we make the processors?
It just seems like it would be the smart thing to do.
It would be a very smart thing to do.
For
But
your
do we
military
make do we make the processors? Or have there been installed some sort of electronical backdoor into almost everything that we have? Almost everything we have. Where anything could be taken over.
I think that it probably is the case, but it's definitely our government doing it.
You know the Michael Hastings story, right?
No.
You don't know that story? Oh. This was the guy who was a journalist who was writing for Rolling Stone. And he goes over to Afghanistan? Was it Afghanistan? Goes over to Afghanistan and gets stuck there because of the volcano. So the volcano in Iceland, I think. So this volcano blows up and the sky's covered with dirt. You can't see for like weeks. So you can't fly. So he can't leave there. So he gets stuck with his troop. He's embedded with these troops. And they get loose. They get loose. They start saying things. They start talking shit about Obama. The general talks shit about Obama. And then this guy puts all this in the story. And he puts all this in the story. And they thought he was like one of their homies. We're just hanging out. We're just boys. He's not going to write about that. Meanwhile, that guy wrote about all that shit. You get these 20-year-old kids. They're deployed at war. And of course they're going to talk shit. They're kids. You get the generals like hanging out with these guys. They're going to talk shit. They're a bunch of men out there doing war. So he has to step down. And the general, is one of the most beloved generals in the military. And then this guy is terrified for his life. And has openly said, the reporter's terrified for his life. Because he's been threatened. So then he dies on, was it Laurel Canyon? La Brea. He dies on La Brea. Melrose and Highland, sorry. Melrose and Highland?
And I'm watching the video right now, but that's
Well, either way,
Whatever, yeah, whatever.
either way. Point is, he's in L.A. He's going like 120 miles an hour, and he goes straight into a tree, and the car explodes. The car explodes, and watch how fast he goes. Look at this. He just hits the gas, and boom, runs into a tree and explodes. Had said, you know, if anything happens, I didn't kill myself. And then the question was, back then, so was this 2005? 2013. So back then the question was, do they have the technology to take over vehicles? And if you ask people that are honest, the answer is yes. Yeah, they do. There's a way to do it. It's not impossible. It's not like, you know, breathing underwater. It can be done. Whether you have to get access to the actual car itself and put something in there, I don't know. But
that's why
it can be done.
That's why people, like, it's going to be a couple generations before people will be down with it being fully autonomous cars. Like, you know, we see all these driverless cars around this motherfucker all the time. But it's like, I ain't getting in one of them motherfuckers.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here.
No way. But because if they wanted to kill you, I mean, we saw that in the new Total Recall. They did that, where it's like all the cars drive themselves. But when they want to find you, they fucking stop your car, pull you over. You know, fuck that.
Everybody's terrified about that, you know. And there's cars right now that they could shut off if there's a police chase. That's what OnStar does, right? So, like, if you're in one of those Corvettes, I bet that Corvette has OnStar. Does that Corvette have OnStar? So the way they sell you OnStar is they say, well, Brian, if someone steals your car, we can just shut it off. And you're like, oh, that would be good. I don't want anybody stealing my beautiful car. But the other side of that is we could also just shut it off for other reasons.
Right.
We can shut it off because we don't like you, and we just decide to shut your car off.
But don't worry, it says right here that that's illegal.
You could have the wrong political opinion depending on who's in power. You know, you want to give these people power because you don't want the other side to win. But then the problem is now you've established that the government, which is not always you, is going to have power. And they're going to just be able to shut your fucking car off. Stolen C7 Corvette disabled remotely by police using OnStar. Yeah, they just shut them off. See, that's a happy moment. Look at that. The sad moment is you got a trunk load of meth and you're making a run for it. They just shut your car off.
Right. But imagine being a drug runner and getting all the features.
Well, the drug runners always get caught going too fast. It's the dumbest fucking thing you'll ever hear. They always get busted going like 16 miles an hour over the speed limit. What does it say, Jamie? Mandatory. Comes with mandatory OnStar subscription. There's no way around it.
One of my favorite online lawyers, he always goes, his name was Bruce Rivers. But he always saying, never commit a misdemeanor while you committing a felony.
Ooh.
You know? It's like if you're moving cocaine, don't break the speed limit. Yeah. Put on your seatbelt.
Yeah. It's just the dumbest. But you get these kids that are willing to do these drug runs, and they're cocky, and they're probably using, right? So they're probably taking a little amphetamines while they're driving to stay sharp, Brian. Can't get sleepy behind the wheel. And they're probably not the most reliable people anyway. They're literal drug runners. Like, what they're doing could get them locked up for the rest of their fucking life, and they're probably going to make $2,000 for doing this.
Yeah, and they'll have some cool stories.
I mean, who's going to make the money? They're probably doing it for somebody else, right? They're probably moving it for somebody, and they have to sell it, and then they get a piece, and then, you know, and then they keep doing it, and that's they just have to hope they don't get arrested. And then they do it a few times, get a little cocky. I mean, someone's bringing all this shit in. Like, how's it getting in? How many if you're a cop and you're just out there looking around at how many of these moving trucks have fentanyl in them?
I think the CIA bringing most of it.
A bit of it.
I mean,
for sure.
Because who stops selling drugs when they get away with it? Nobody.
Right.
Why would they stop doing that?
Right.
They just know how to not get caught.
Well, maybe they probably work with people.
Yeah. Because please believe, if we really, really wanted to stop drugs, it would be extreme, but we could. But we don't want to.
It would be too hard. You'd have to take away too much freedom from people. They wouldn't stand for it, and they'd vote you out of office.
I'm talking about just stop it from coming in the country.
Yes. You could stop it from coming in the country, but you're not going to stop a demand. The real problem is, just like the prohibition of alcohol, and I'm not comparing meth with alcohol because I think most people that I know responsibly use alcohol. They take a few drinks. I mean, I know a bunch of people who have abused it. I know a bunch of people had to stop drinking. But most guys that we're friends with, you have a drink, You guys want to do a shot? Let's do a shot. Yeah. And then you go do your show, and no one's getting drunk every night.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I rarely see anybody get drunk.
But if you're out there doing meth, there's a chance you're not engaging in like responsible meth use. There's a good chance if you're using meth, you're going hard.
You're just microdosing.
You're just going. Nah, no one ain't microdosing meth. They're going hard. I think meth gets you to go hard. You're listening to fucking Slayer in your car, and you're fired up, and you're making bad decisions.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely just not thinking. You're just doing.
But what is Adderall? Adderall's super close to meth. Super close.
It's an amphetamine for sure.
Yeah, it's not the same, but it's.
And yeah, and
It's in the hunt.
People do wild shit on that shit too.
Especially if you take a lot of it. If you take a lot of it, it might as well be meth. People abuse the shit out of everything. You tell them to take one, they're going to take 5 or 6.
See, I think the biggest problem is like most people's lives suck so bad that like drugs is their only thing.
That's true too. That's true too.
Because that's happy. That's instant happiness. It's like
that's true.
Even because you know what's so funny is, I think a lot of people assume that most of the like homeless people on the street are homeless because they had a drug problem, but it's usually the other way around. They usually are fine when they hit the street and they start using drugs because like what else the fuck you gonna do? What else you gonna get happiness from? You're not warm. You're not safe.
Well, there's probably a bunch of different scenarios there, but a lot of it has to do with drug use. And a lot of it has to do with self-medicating. A lot of those people are just like severely mentally ill and really should be in some sort of an institution.
People are never going to stop getting high.
No, they're not going to. No. I'm smoking a cigar right now.
And I don't know if the solution is, just legalize everything.
I don't know that
I would have said that 5 years ago, but and maybe that is the ultimate solution, but the way it's implemented, because I think they tried that in Seattle or Portland or somewhere.
Yeah, they had to stop it.
Yeah, and so it's like, but they also just went from what we doing now to like just everything's legal.
Yeah, but they also, it's Portland. They're ridiculous. Those people are ridiculous. That was Seattle, right? No,
I think
was it Portland or Seattle? Which one was it? That it was Oregon that legalized everything, right?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was Oregon.
Yeah, it was Oregon. So it was Portland. Portland's ridiculous. They're ridiculous. So if you just say you can just do drugs wherever you want, just do whatever you want, everything's legal now, everyone's just going to be brazen about it. You've got a culture that it was demonized for so long, and you have a culture of mental illness where people are looking for something to get them out of this rut that they're in, and the only thing that makes them feel good is fentanyl or oxycodone or whatever the fuck they're taking, whatever that shit that makes you lean over. What's that stuff?
It's a lot of shit to do that.
The stuff that where they're doing yoga in the street? Trank?
Something like that, I think.
Whatever the fuck they're doing. These people, they're trying to escape, right?
Yeah.
And the idea that you just like leave them, they're obviously like severely mentally ill. Like if we spend money on people with illness, why don't we spend money on people with mental illness? It seems like if you want to support Medicaid, shouldn't you support like mass medical assistance to most of these people? Because a lot of them are probably severely mentally ill and unmedicated. And maybe they can be helped. Maybe someone can take them into an institution and
There's somebody calling you a socialist right now in the comments.
I am in a lot of ways. I am. With some things, like the fire department. I think the fire department is a very socialist idea. We're all going to put our money into this one group of people that's going to act in the best interest of the entire community and put out fires everywhere, regardless of who's got money or doesn't. Like if you're a poor person and you live on this block and your house catches on fire, they don't say, we're not going to put that fire out. We're only going to put the big guy's fire out. No, if a fucking house gets on fire, everybody agrees that fire needs to get put out. So the fire people move. You spend your tax dollars on that.
See, that's how I feel about healthcare.
It's true. That's a good way to look at it.
It's like, imagine the fire department could deny you when your house was burning.
See, the problem is they're already making so much money doing it the way they're doing it now, and they've got a really good system. If I was a business person involved in that system, not just a human being with ethics and morals, I would say this is the way to do it because this is the way we're going to make the most money.
Yeah.
But people are tired of it. That's why people were cheering when that guy got shot, which is kind of fucked up.
Here's the truth of the matter. Some shit just can't be for profit. If we want it to be for the best, some stuff can't be for profit.
The thing about that guy shooting that person that's the most disturbing wasn't just that a lot of people cheered for it, but was the most disturbing was that people weren't mad. They weren't outraged. They didn't treat it like a regular assassination. It was like an assassination where he deserved it. Right? It didn't seem like a bad, even though people were like, that was horrible, it didn't seem like as bad a thing as like if someone shot John Lennon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or not even a famous person. If someone just randomly shot some, executive as he was walking out.
You know how I reacted? The same way when they got Osama bin Laden. I was like, it's the same to me.
Really?
Yeah, it was like, because think about it.
You feel like that insurance guy was Osama bin Laden?
No, but I mean, they both are indirectly responsible for the deaths of how many Americans? Except he was doing it for profit. Osama was doing it for the love of the game or whatever.
I do think it's a corporate capture issue.
It's
Because
like-
I think the culture of the corporation is to make as much money as possible and deny more people than the other insurance companies do. Like they had a higher rate of denying.
Like you can't let people's grandmas die and let them stay in pain and shit and then expect them to have empathy for you.
Did you ever see that one video? I think we played it on the podcast where this woman talked about how she made a decision to deny someone care that they definitely needed, and she was thanked by the company, and then the guy wound up dying, and she knows that she could have given him the life-saving care. She could have approved it, and she was rewarded for not approving it. Like they were like, you did the right thing. So that's like the culture is not about. It's like what we were talking about earlier. It's not really about healthcare. Healthcare is the arena in which they're playing their game. But the real game is the people behind the scenes that are trying to make money. And especially if you're doing something that is not, you don't have a lot of it doesn't give you a lot of meaning to deny people healthcare. It doesn't give you a lot of meaning. Like you don't feel like you have a meaningful life. So those people guarantee you they get addicted to material stuff. They get addicted to getting a nice Rolex. I want to get the newest Rolex. I want to get a fucking Ferrari. I want to.
And you also gotta, like, it gotta switch up your whole ethic.
Yep.
right?
Yep. And you got to somehow or another placate yourself, whether it's with drugs or with buying a new purse, something. You need new stuff. You're not gonna live in a fucking log hut in the woods if you're living like that. You're not going to be interested in starting your own fire and reading books by candlelight. Shut the fuck up. You're doing cocaine and you're trying to buy a house.
You're surrounded by people that like.
Yeah.
They're impressed by the shit you're doing too. So
And they probably all medicate.
Yeah.
Everybody's on probably something that's like allows them to like not freak out all the time. Some sort of anti-anxiety medication because of what they're doing. And then they don't feel fulfilled in life, you know? You don't feel like that's a good relationship between you and the way you make money and the way you interact with people.
No, I don't think they feel guilty. I mean, some people might feel guilty afterwards. But I
think a lot of them are
don't think they
medicated.
feel bad, man.
I think they're medicated. I
Yeah.
bet. Yeah, I bet you have anxiety when you're doing stuff like that. You probably need an SSRI. Probably need a little something.
But it's like the easiest person to lie to is yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you probably feel like shit. You get that first paycheck and you start twisting shit so you could justify it. Like, well, somebody would do this.
And you also realize, hey, the rest of the public, they don't know. They don't know. That's just the insurance business. That's the business.
Yeah. Well, this is standard.
Yeah.
Standard is a word they use a lot when they try to fuck you.
People looked at it very differently than someone just shooting some other person. They almost looked at it like he deserved it.
And it wasn't bipartisan. That's what I mean. That
Right.
was the wildest thing about the whole thing. It was like you couldn't tell by any other information from anybody how they felt about it. I just felt nothing, honestly.
It was weird too because it gave a lot of liberal grifters the opportunity to celebrate someone getting shot and murdered violently, which is like should be the complete opposite of the way they view violent crime. They should think of violence as being the last resort. Violence is abhorrent. Violence is not a part of a civilized society. We want kindness and compassion, and we want people to be able to live their life. You don't want violent murders on the street if you are a progressive. But a lot of progressives were cheering when this guy got murdered.
Yeah, I mean,
which just shows how many grifters and hypocrites
the
there
thing
are.
is, because for me, it just depends on who got murdered. I'm not rooting for a murderer, but if certain people die, I'm like, well,
Well, I don't even know what this guy's relationship to that guy was. I don't know why he wanted to kill him specifically.
And they haven't said specifically. I mean, it's a lot of speculation. about, was it a family member or like he'd had a back surgery that screwed him up, but like I said, I only get the news that like rises, that's like forced in my face, because I don't watch any of the watch
to
the
me
channels.
it's different than, like, let's say some Iraq war veteran assassinated Dick Cheney. Like, that to me makes more sense. That one makes more sense.
But I
like,
think
here's
people-
a guy
I
who
think
knows that this guy engineered this thing where they lied about weapons of mass destruction, led us into a war that ultimately wound up killing who knows how many people.
But I think Dick Cheney would have got a better reaction than this guy.
You think people would have been sad that Dick Cheney got shot? Well, they would have thought it's very dangerous,
no,
because
but I think-
whenever a vice president gets shot, everybody feels
But
vulnerable.
I think that's something that you can partisan. Is partisan a word? I think it's something you can
Try
make,
it.
you can
Try
make
it out.
you
See
can
if
make
it's a word.
partisan. but like I said, that's what's special. That's what's special about this is
Everybody got fucked over by insurance.
everybody got
companies.
fucked over. It's like so
Yeah.
like there's people that love Dick Cheney, or there's people that still hold like those politics from back then.
I don't know
This-
if anybody loved Dick Cheney. That's why it was really
No.
crazy when Dick Cheney endorsed Kamala, and they were all like, "Yeah, like, what are you doing? What, that guy? What?
Well,
You forgot?"
Yeah, but I just mean I don't think he is as hated as. I mean, the truth is nobody knew that CEO's name before this, but the whole business is hated. So it's like he became the face for that, and it's definitely apolitical. It's like I don't know a single person that hasn't had an issue with health insurance.
Yeah. Well, again, it's a business. It's a business designed to make money, and all of them want to make. I mean, they have an obligation. They need to make more money next quarter. What can we do? What can we do? And they start denying people. And if you're using AI, like, specifically to deny people, like let's make this more efficient.
Is that what's happening now?
I don't know if that's true, but I've read it. That some insurance companies are using AI to deny more claims than ever. See if that's true. I wouldn't be shocked. Would you be shocked? If you're a company and you're trying to make the most money and you find out that there's software that will allow you to make more money, and all you care about is making money, you're not really caring about healthcare. You don't want people to feel. If you did, you'd say, we should all make less money and give out more money to these people. We could, accept more claims, and we would have a much healthier world, and we would feel better karmically, right? Wouldn't that be nice if they thought like that? You'd have to own the company. You'd have to be like a guru, like a really calm, peaceful guru, and you would own the company and just have like an ethical insurance company and not give anybody stake in it. Don't let anybody like try to juice the system because they want to make more money.
Oh, not a public company.
Exactly. Stay private. Stay private.
Yeah, but don't you think the type of person that
Stay
would even
golden,
want to
pony
make
boy.
an insurance company, like I think you would have to be a certain type.
Right.
To
Yeah,
be
you
like,
have to be a psycho.
I should profit from suffering somehow.
Yeah, I should. Well, you're gambling, right? You're gambling that something doesn't happen to you that's more expensive than all the payments you give me every month for 10 years.
Because I think if you start heading in that direction of like ethical health care,
Yeah.
eventually you're going to arrive at, there shouldn't be health insurance. It should just cost what it costs.
Well, it should probably be the same way we treat the fire department. But if we're going to do that, and people say, what about all these people that are obese? What about all these people that are like eating bad food? Yeah, we got to educate our society. We have to think of ourselves as a community, as a collective community, educate ourselves, and healthcare should be something that's paid for by the government. Insurance companies use artificial intelligence to automatically deny claims, which can raise concerns about bias and inaccuracies. If your claim is denied by AI, you can take steps to understand your rights and challenge the denial. Keep records. Document all correspondence with your insurer, including denial letters and any communication about AI. A lawyer can help you understand your rights and determine if the denial was made in bad faith. Like, you're fucked. Yeah, for most people, especially people that work all day and you're dealing with this shit, you're fucked.
I think this is in California.
Landmark law prohibits health insurance companies from using AI to deny health care coverage. All right, that's great. Especially like using it specifically to deny. So that's California. That's great law. The whole country should adopt that.
Using AI to deny.
Yeah. I really think that the problem is that there's been a long history of profit for healthcare, and that they go into it to profit. And the real problem with that is you also want the best surgeons, right? You want the best doctors, and they have to be motivated. And most of them are motivated both by excelling in their practice and also by material possessions that reward them. Like doctors always have like a Porsche. Doctors have a Mercedes. Doctors have a nice house. Like you should be a doctor, Brian. You should be a doctor, a nice doc. Doctors make a lot of money. But they also have a fuckload of bills. And they have a fuckload of insurance. Okay? So they have, the problem with them is like liability insurance. Like liability insurance for malpractice insurance for doctors is crazy expensive.
But don't doctors still make good money in countries?
They do, but they're constantly moving people in and out of their office because they got a fucking heavy nut to cover every month.
Conveniently.
Yes, United Health is facing multiple class action lawsuits over its use of algorithms, its investment practices, and its treatment of patients. Algorithm use claim processing. United Health is facing a class action lawsuit over the algorithm it uses to process claims. Yeah.
Big lawsuit about that.
Yeah, monsters. But this is also because we've set up a system of profit. Now imagine if that system of profit existed for the fire department. Imagine if you had to pay fire department fees every month, and if you didn't and your house burned, they go, hey, Brian, we just checked and you don't have fire coverage. And so then now you're fucked. That sounds crazy. That's crazy, right?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen it happen.
So we agree that the fire department should be kind of a socialist organization.
Yeah.
Okay. Why not healthcare?
Yeah, that's how I feel.
But then the problem is, Dr. fucking Grossman, he wants a Ferrari. He's the baddest motherfucker for fixing knees. He fixes everybody's knees on the Lakers. He wants some money.
Give him a Ferrari.
He's the best. Yeah, but the problem with that is like, how much does everybody get paid? Does the government just pay everybody the same way they're getting paid now? Or does it become like a government job, like you're a state-appointed defense attorney?
It becomes like the NFL.
You know what I mean? Like not as motivated as some like super high-powered defense attorney that, handles huge cases and knows the law inside and you know what I'm saying? Mm. It's like, who's going to fix you now? Because my friends in Canada, they say, yeah, healthcare is free. But like one of my friends, my friend Jen, she had to wait like a year plus to get an ACL surgery. And it's all fucked up still. So like for this ACL surgery, she's waiting like a whole year to get her knee fixed. I'm pretty sure, I hope I'm not speaking out of school. I'm pretty sure it was close to a year. And so she's got a bad knee for a year. Whereas, like, in America, you're supposed to be able to go to the doctor. The doctor says your health care is yep, you definitely tore your ACL, Brian. Okay, well, good news is you're covered. You have a deductible, but this is your deductible. Okay, we can schedule you for February 16th. This is what we need you to do. No aspirin, no this, no that. Don't eat within 8 hours you get here because you're going to go under. They prep you for surgery.
Or they tell you all of that, and then they go, oh, actually, you're not covered. Because you didn't tell us about this thing from, yeah. Then you go, okay, well, I still need the surgery, and I don't have, $50,000.
Right.
It's like, that's the shitty part. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because there's some people that, like, they are healthy, and they take care of themselves, and they pay their insurance, and then, they get a tumor or something, unforeseen.
Yes,
and
100%.
And they're completely fucked.
They're completely fucked.
And it's like, that shouldn't be possible.
Well, how about this fire insurance deal in California?
What happened?
Like, a giant percentage of those people that lost their homes in that fire, they didn't have insurance. These insurance companies pulled out of fire coverage.
What? Oh, bro, did you also know there's fires, the same thing's happening in South America and Africa.
Really?
Yeah, just whole places burning the fuck down. I'm shocked that I'm not hearing more about that because, I only...
Here's the thing about the fires. There's satellite video of those fires, all three of them starting at the same time. You ever seen it?
No.
It's super suspicious. Super suspicious.
There's satellite footage of all the three fires starting at the same time.
Simultaneously. Yeah. You want to see it?
Yeah.
You need to see it because it's so creepy. I think it was arson. I think somebody did it. Whether it was a schizophrenic person, a firebug. There's a lot of those people that are firebugs, man. There's people that are like actual arsonists. And when you get into the conditions that happened in the Santa Ana winds when California's dry, like you remember when it was.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
you were there in 2018 with that big crazy fire, right? Did you see any of that on the 405?
Yeah.
It was insane.
Yeah. And I remember there being a big one probably like 2007 too or 2008.
The thing is, like, it doesn't have to be some crazy conspiracy. Like, people think it's a conspiracy, a land grab, this whole thing. Maybe. But also, people start fires. It's a known crime. In fact, one of the people that they arrested, he had a fake fire truck. So this dude was a known arsonist, I believe, from Oregon. He bought a fire truck and drove with a fireman's outfit and was going into these areas.
That's actually hilarious.
And he's an arsonist, like a known. So he's probably starting fires.
Yeah, arsonist with a fire truck.
How crazy is that? But some people are just out of their fucking minds, man, including a lot of firemen. Like, that's a problem with firemen. There's been firemen who have started fires.
But it's wild that you, like, I feel like if you go to prison for arson, like you purposely burn shit, if they let you out, they should at least track you like they track pedos.
Well,
you know?
you've killed a lot of people. Like, if a human being was caught that had definitely lit these 3 fires that appear simultaneously, if a human being did that, they're responsible for, I don't know how many deaths. How many people died? I think it's 25 or something like that.
Yeah.
25 burned alive.
How much damage? How many people are going to die?
The damage,
later?
sure. Like, you're in jail for the rest of your life for everything. For the damage, you're in jail for the rest of your life. You owe $350 billion and counting. It's $350 billion of damage. And then Altadena is gone.
And are they still having the Grammys or whatever? Or the Emmys?
I don't know. They probably are. Well, we did the UFC there. We did the UFC like in the middle of the fires.
Oh, wow.
I didn't think we were going to do it. I was like, are we going to do it here? And Dana was like, we're going to do it. The Clippers are going to play there on, I forget what day, but earlier in the week. And if the Clippers play, we're going to do it. Otherwise, they were going to do Vegas. They were just going to move everybody to Vegas if it got worse. Because they keep starting. New ones start.
Oh, it's
there's
not
one
over.
No, there's one that's up in Santa Clarita. Somebody started one up there, or something started one up there. The 2018, they know was an accident because they know there was the part that cost $1. That one part failed, and it started a fire. A $1 part.
Yeah, I think we're going to just see more and more of this. It's getting
Well,
hotter,
they have to fix
drier.
it. They have to fix it. You have to clean up the brush. You have to do what they did with the water, where they opened up the water from the north to come flow freely down to the south and not divert it into the Pacific Ocean. Fill up the reservoir that you had that was 11 million gallons that was empty. You fucking psychos. Like, what are you doing? You clearly haven't taken the right steps if that can happen. It can be at least mitigated. You're always going to have those crazy winds. You're always going to have arsonists. You're always going to have things that fuck up where something starts a fire accidentally.
But don't they do all that shit every? Don't they do like controlled burns and all of that stuff every year?
Fact check old satellite footage falsely linked to 2025 LA wildfires.
Yes, it's saying.
So what is that video of 3 fires starting simultaneously? Because people were saying it was the California fires.
Is this the video?
I don't know. Looks
This
like
is just a picture, but this is from 2024's fires. These fires are in a different spot than the ones that just happened.
So I don't know if that's the one. It's hard to say.
This is the caption from the post.
So it's miscaptioned. So it's not true. What about the one where it shows a person starting the fire? Because there is one video where they think that they have an actual image of a guy starting the fire.
I think it was a person near it, but I'll double check.
Whoops, just happened to be near it with a blowtorch. How about that guy? They caught that one guy. And he's like, I was just lighting my joint. He had a blowtorch in his hand, and they made it like a citizen's arrest.
Yeah, but he might have been telling the truth.
Nope, dude had been arrested like 8 times. He had vandalism, all kinds of shit on his resume, violent crimes. I believe.
That don't mean he was lying.
Well, he was running around in a fire with a blowtorch. Hey, bro, put that down.
Yeah, but how you gonna light your shit?
A lighter?
I mean, yeah, but
He said he couldn't afford a lighter. Bitch, a lighter is $0.25.
Yeah, that's wild. I mean, it's wild to like carry a blowtorch.
How much is a lighter?
around
How
with
much is
you.
like one of them little Bic lighters? $1? Is that $1?
Yeah, like $1. Maybe it's probably $1.20 something.
See, if it's made in America, it's going to cost more. All right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, China's going to chop off our fucking supply of Bics. Who makes Bics?
Yeah,
Am I
guess-
guessing?
See, in my head, I was thinking like, you in the house, you can't find a lighter, so you're like, I got a torch, I'm gonna just use that.
I will
But
run
you're
around
saying-
on the
But you're saying
streets.
he was like walking around
They
outside.
found him out where the fires were with a
Yeah.
blowtorch, and he said it was empty. He's like, look, it's empty.
It's like, even if you're telling the truth, like, your stupid ass deserve
But also,
just the inconvenience.
yeah, he was a criminal. What was I just going to ask you to Google?
I'm trying to find a picture of the satellite of a person near the fire
Hmm.
where it started, but
Huberman filmed people starting fires. Andrew Huberman. He was driving down the street, and he caught these guys starting a fire. and filmed it, put it on his phone. It's like people are starting fires here. Because you got all these homeless people and crazy people and people that want to burn it all down, man. And while the fire is going on, they feel like, fuck it, man. Let's help this fucking fire. Fuck these rich people. I mean, it's the Palisades. They're like the richest people in all of L.A.
You think that's their motivations?
Yeah, I think a lot of that for the arsonists. I think it's a lot of it is like, fuck society, my life sucks. I think a lot of people there's crazy people like the guy from Oregon that are like almost like amateur firefighters, like amateur arsonists. It's like that's their side project.
Did you see Chappelle talk about it on his SNL monologue?
I didn't.
Man, it's the best one ever.
Yeah.
Easy.
I know. I need to sit down and watch it. Everybody tells me it's awesome.
It's the best monologue I've ever seen on SNL.
Well, he talks about Palestine. He compares Palestine to.
Yeah, he pretty much went through all the major things that's going on.
The Palestine thing is nuts. I watched a video yesterday of Gaza, and I don't know if you've seen like flyover drone footage of what it looks like now.
Nope.
You want to see it?
Yeah, let's see it.
Or do you want to like live?
Nah, I want to see it. I want to see it because like I said, I never see shit like this.
It's crazy. You shouldn't go looking for it. Good. I won't send it to you anymore.
I don't mind if people send me the news, but I just don't actively go seek it out.
This is so depressing.
Because I'm like, if it's something I need to know, somebody will tell me about it.
There's a lot of before and after videos where they'll show someone driving down a road before, and then they show what it all looks like now. Yeah. It's like the city doesn't exist anymore. It's like if way bigger than downtown Austin wiped off the map. Look at this.
Yeah.
This is crazy. So this is flying drone footage over Gaza City, and it's just everything's destroyed. Everything's destroyed. It's like a nuke went off. Look at this. From the sky, when you look at it, like as far as the eye can see, just destruction. Everything's got a missile hole in it. Everything's collapsed. Everything's fucked up. Every now and then, like one house or one building in between is untouched. But most of it is fucking destroyed. If I was the guy who lived next door to that house that's perfect, I'd be like, who did you pay, motherfucker? Right? He doesn't even get blown up once.
I mean, this is crazy.
Crazy. And this is right now. And somehow we're being fed that this is the only way to do this. And then somehow or another this is acceptable to get rid of Hamas, to just completely annihilate everybody. I mean, the number of people that are dead now is off the charts. They don't even know how many.
Bro, this looks insane.
Insane. It's insane. And it's happening right now.
Oh, this is how it used to look?
Uh-huh. This is what it used to look like. Look at that. Shops and cars. And now it's just destroyed. Everything destroyed. They bombed the fuck out of everything.
Bro, this shit make you feel something.
Well, this is never coming back. Like, this is like, they essentially like moved everybody out of there. Like, who's going to stay there now?
What is all of this? What is all of the? What is that? What is all that?
Tents.
Oh, wow.
Tents where people have to like stay in tents. And by the way, they might bomb those tents too. The whole thing is very scary, dude, because it's just at a level of destruction that's impossible to say that you support it. It's like, this is insane. These are human lives. Like, how many people are dying here? Is this the only way to do this? This seems crazy.
Yeah.
And how did you guys get to this point?
Damn. See, Joe, this is why I avoid the news.
Good.
It's because all the stupidest people I know are happy as shit. So I'm like, I just need to know less.
No, you need to.
And I can enjoy.
I think there's something to that, but I think we kind of need to pay attention nowadays. I think things are getting real weird.
Because you know what it is? It's the death of truth. Like, it's hard to know what's true. You hear something, it sounds true, and then you hear something else, and go, that's not true. And then and both can point you to links and studies, and you're like, it's just stressful trying to figure out what's correct and what isn't.
Yeah, that's on purpose.
I know.
That's on purpose. That's they're doing a real good job of confusing people. Yeah. That's when I and
everybody thinks they're right.
Everybody thinks they're right, yeah. And there's also a lot of stuff that's going on behind the scenes. Like, a lot of the way stories are amplified is to serve as a distraction from other things that are taking place at the same time. Like, they love to do stuff like that. where they'll push out a story, like some inflammatory story. The design of that story is to get you distracted from other things that are going on simultaneously. That's what I think a lot of this, when I think about the UFO stuff, I'm always like, man, if I wanted something to distract the shit out of people, this is a really good one.
Oh, bro,
Not saying that that's what they're doing, but it makes me...
the scientific discovery yesterday?
No, you were about to tell me at the beginning.
They had they found an asteroid.
Oh, I did see this.
And it had like most of the ingredients for life on it.
Yes.
Like all the amino acids, not all of them, but like all but 3. And then all of, I forget what the big ass word this lady used. But I think this was a theory before, but it's becoming more and more likely that life was seeded by
Asteroid
an
impacts.
asteroid or something.
Yeah. That's a theory called panspermia.
Panspermia.
Yeah. And it also accounts for some things that don't fit in, like psilocybin mushrooms. Like there's something very alien about them. That one of the things about spores is that spores can survive like almost anything. They can survive in a vacuum. They can survive through space. Like spores are like insanely durable. And if you have the potential for all of these amino acids and different minerals and there was actually salt on that, right? Wasn't there salt on that rock as well?
I don't know. I mean, let me see.
I think there was a bunch of different elements of life on that asteroid. And why not spores? And if, some mushroom that grows on another planet where these human beings interact with nature through it, and then it just lands here on Earth. Did you find it?
Osiris Rex mission. So they found amino acids, nucleotide bases, minerals from salt water, and more. Yeah.
So that means it has all the building blocks of life, and it comes from salt water, and a chunk of it comes flying off. Isn't that nutty? Like, that's how a lot of things... They think that's, like, maybe how the water got here. That's one of the theories.
An asteroid?
Yeah, that, like, comets.
A comet, yeah.
That comets hit us, and that's where we got the water. Is that a real theory still? Because they change those. Like, they look at them and they go, well, maybe. Like, now they're wondering whether dark energy is real. They think maybe time moves differently in between galaxies. Like they've got some like new theory.
Yeah, I've heard. I think I heard Neil deGrasse Tyson talk about that recently.
All of it is like, what are you even saying?
Or that gravity is different in different places, something like that.
They think there's like that gravity and space time moves differently in the voids in between galaxies and planets.
Wait a minute, who's saying that?
Who's saying that? Like, what are you saying?
Right. That's what I'm saying, bro.
Are they thinking that's what accounts for the...
I just need to know less because it's breaking my brain.
That's why they're apart from each other. It's not that dark energy is pushing them away from each other. I don't know. Like, 'cause this is the theory of, like, dark matter and dark energy. It's like 90-something% of the universe is this theory.
Right.
So what does that mean? So if it's not that, then is 90% of the universe what? It's like just space-time moving in a different way? Like, what happened?
Yeah. So, I mean, science has been kind of killing it.
Well, they've got some new tools now, like that James Webb telescope. That thing's crazy.
Yeah. Remember when I first told you about it hadn't launched yet? And I was like, that's going to change everything.
Well, I remember Duncan told me something about it a long time ago. He said they found something that they think is at least 22 billion years old. They found some star cluster or something that they think is 22 billion years old. So it throws the whole Big Bang thing.
No, is he talking about the
into a
Methuselah
tizzy.
star?
No, that's interesting too, because the Methuselah star is actually older somehow than the entire universe, which doesn't make any sense. It's like 14 plus billion years old, so it's like a little bit older than what they think was the Big Bang.
But then didn't somebody recently, or not recently, but didn't someone say that like it's still within the margin of error?
Yeah, it's still within the margin. The Methuselah star is, but not this new discovery. So the new discovery for the James Webb telescope is they found galaxies that formed too quickly, and they formed so long ago, like so far away, because they could see bigger now, that it's changing. Like, there's two things possible. Maybe we were wrong about how quickly galaxies form. Maybe they form way quicker, or maybe the universe is way older than we think it is. So maybe the reason why these things exist, and then you could find them, and then although there's things that like blink in and that they exist at one point in time and don't exist anymore, they don't know what the fuck those are. These red lights, these red spots that they found in the universe, but they think that it's people are very reluctant to commit, right? Because they don't really know. But the potential is that the universe is not 14 or 13 point whatever billion years old, but maybe as old as 24 billion years old, or maybe.
The next time you come on here, I want to be here the next time you have one of these motherfuckers, these Lawrence Krauss.
You want to be in here with
Michio Kaku. Yeah, because I'm fascinated by this kind of shit.
The problem with two people talking is like I gotta like lock in on these dudes.
I just want to listen.
Yeah, but I'd want you to chime in too. That just like with some of these people, like you have to have one-on-one, because even if I do two guests, like everybody always has something cool to say, right? And then someone else is talking, and you want to. It's hard. It's hard to like work it, and when you got someone who's talking about something like very esoteric, very difficult to grasp, they're talking about like quantum physics. They're trying to explain to you the dynamics of these subatomic particles. You're like, what? Yeah. You need like one person just locked on.
Every time I hear a quantum physicist talk, I never understand everything they say.
Bro, I barely understand a fraction of what they're talking about.
Even when they talking about other shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
they're operating on a different level.
Let
like
Eric
mental
Weinstein
athletes.
try to give you a fucking recipe.
Oh yeah.
Jesus Christ, man.
Weinstein's crazy smart in a spooky way.
I know, but he's like, he forgets how much smarter than.
Right. He'll talk to you in a way that like you're like, I don't even know what you're saying.
Yeah, bro. Like I don't have that degree, bro.
Yeah. Well, he has a theory of everything. I do not understand it at all. I don't know how many people could follow it. I don't understand it. But that kind of person that would sit around and try to create a theory of everything, he's of the belief that potentially we're looking at U.S.-made stuff that's like super advanced, and that they've put a lid on it somehow.
But what would be the purpose of that?
Because I think if you develop something in secrecy, like they do all the time with like the stealth bomber, all these different things, even the Manhattan Project, you develop things in secrecy, and then there comes a time where you test them, you use them, you have them, but then are you going to admit you have them? Because then the enemy's going to infiltrate. They're going to find out you have them. There's espionage. They're going to steal your information. They've been doing that forever. We talked about these back doors that China has in all our electronics, or potentially could have, right? How many things are vulnerable because of AI now? How many things are vulnerable because everything's attached to the internet? How many things can be hacked? Who fucking knows? But the reality is we're in like a very uniquely vulnerable position in terms of if someone did have that kind of technology that could take over AI systems, that could kill the power grid, that could fly things through the sky autonomously, that move at speeds that are impossible to imagine with conventional aircraft, and can really, like you said, park it over the White House. Maybe part of what he's saying is true. Maybe he really did write that. Maybe someone wrote that and it's like some truths and some wacky shit to try to throw you off of the truth, which is also a strategy that gets used. When you have something that's like a real conspiracy, you know what you do? You attach it to a bunch of other shit like witchcraft, voodoo, fucking ghosts. Attach it to stupid shit.
You make it sound crazy.
Make it sound crazy. Yeah. These people came from Bigfoot is an interdimensional traveler who communicates with people telepathically. Add some stuff to it that just makes it stupid, but inside of it have like the truth. They definitely do that. They do that to make people's stories seem stupid when they go and tell them to the press.
Yeah, I mean that's what I would do if it was in my interest to keep some kind of weird thing secret. Like, tell people you're just gonna sound crazy.
Well, if you were like abducted by a UFO, you're gonna sound crazy.
Like,
but what are you gonna do?
Like you walk in the green room and you see me changing heads. I turn around like, oh,
you've been a robot this whole time?
Like, yeah, it's like no one will believe you.
Yeah, the new alien Romulus.
Yeah.
Have you seen the new one?
Oh yeah, it was great.
It's fucking
actually
great.
I saw it. That was the first time I actually enjoyed one of those. I don't know. They call them 4D or D box, where like they got the smoke and all that shit. You know.
Oh, you went to one of those places?
I saw that movie. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good move.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's not a consistent experience yet, but that was the best one I've had so far.
Oh.
Especially when I realized like you could turn the water off because because like when like the aliens spray, some of the shit get on you and shit.
Oh.
It's like a spray from the ceiling, and I was like, I'm having a good time,
but I don't want to get wet.
But can I turn this fucking water off? but you can. I just didn't realize it for way too long.
It was the first of these alien movies since the original that captured the spirit of the original one.
Yeah.
Like the fear of going through the corridors, not knowing where that thing is, it hunting you, the way it got to those people. That was a good alien movie. I think that was the best alien movie since Alien 1. I think.
Oh, Alien 2 was like that though.
Yeah, but Alien 2, they were too easy to kill. I didn't like how they could just gun them down.
But you're right. It was the same sort of. I don't know. Prometheus was kind of the same kind of spirit.
Prometheus was pretty good. Covenant was better. I liked Covenant. Yeah. Covenant was really good. Michael Fassbender, he's the shit.
I didn't like Prometheus until the second time I watched it.
Oh yeah.
But. Yeah, because it just wasn't what I was expecting. It's like
right.
But once I saw it like on its own merit, it was like
I think Covenant's better. Prometheus is pretty good, but they had this story to tell about like seeding DNA and the operators.
Oh no, you're right. Yeah, Covenant was good. Covenant was the one where they landed.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that was great. Yeah.
The other one was there was the actual like human-like aliens in their planet, and they have like some war, and they all die, and this one guy comes to remember these guys. Remember? That's Prometheus.
I forget what they called them.
Did they call them the operators?
No.
But there was it said no xenomorphs.
But they didn't have a war. They were seeding other planets.
They're gonna do a Prometheus 2. It says no xenomorphs in Prometheus 2. Oh, they're gonna have a Prometheus 2.
These could be old articles. I'm just
I hope they do another one.
stumble across it.
Because you have like a whole universe of alien possibilities now because they skip timelines and shit. Like this one, is like right after the Nostromo gets blown up, and they find it, and they find the dude. You saw it.
Yeah,
it's fucking good.
Well, what was dope about Aliens 1 and what was the one? The one
Prometheus.
No, the
Aliens 2,
the latest one.
Oh, God, what did I call it? Romulus.
So what they had in common was like the protagonists didn't know what they were dealing with.
Right.
So they made it more exciting.
Right. Because it was right afterwards. So people hadn't known yet.
Yeah, and all the other alien movies after that is like.
Yeah.
Sigourney Weaver's like, I know exactly how to deal with these motherfuckers.
Exactly, right. Get away from her, you bitch.
Please believe me.
Yeah, when she's got the fucking robot suit on. I didn't like that either. That thing would fuck her up in that robot suit.
And then wasn't there one where like she gave birth to one?
Yeah. Sigourney Weaver was probably the first woman that was the badass in the lead of a science fiction action movie, and it was 1979.
Bro, speaking of which, Charlize Theron, it's a movie on Netflix. I have no idea why it wasn't bigger, but it's called like she's immortal. Can you look it up?
She's immortal?
Yeah, she leads this team of immortals.
Ooh.
And they're like mercenaries or whatever.
So it's like a superhero movie?
Kind of.
Old Guard.
It's good as shit.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
She's real good at playing like a badass. She played Furiosa. She killed that shit.
Well, she also played Eileen Wuornos, that serial killer bitch.
Yeah, she don't fuck around.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
She's a beautiful woman, and she gained like 50 fucking pounds to play that person.
Really?
Yeah, she got fat, shaved her eyebrows off, looked disgusting. Like, Charlize Theron is beautiful. I mean, she's like stunningly good looking.
Yeah.
I've seen her in person. And then you see what she looked like in that movie, like, the kind of courage that it takes to do that.
I didn't see it.
Oh, you never saw Monster? Bro.
Oh, okay. No, I've seen Monster, yeah.
Monster's a great fucking movie. Shout out to my friend Patty Jenkins who made it.
Wow.
But that movie was like, no ladies do that. Like Robert De Niro did that, Marky Mark's done that. Stallone got fat for a movie. They'll do that. But like for her,
wow.
Bro, crazy. And she looks just like that lady.
But I didn't see this. I was mixing this up with another movie called Look, I Pissed on Your Grave or something.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a revenge movie called I Pissed on Your Grave.
I was telling you before, what's good? It's Nosferatu.
Yeah, I'm gonna go watch it right now. I'm gonna download it for the plane actually.
I'm saying it right now, it's the best vampire movie ever.
Really?
The best vampire movie ever.
That's a big statement.
That's a big statement. I'm saying it. It's the best vampire movie ever. It's the creepiest vampire movie ever.
So you're saying it's better than Blade?
Blade was awesome. But Blade was a superhero movie. More than it was a.
So you don't count Blade as a vampire movie?
It was a vampire movie in that the superhero had to kill the vampires, but he's a Marvel comic guy. I've known Blade since I was a teenager. I was into Marvel comics.
So Blade's a vampire movie the way that like Die Hard's a Christmas movie.
Yeah, Blade was a badass martial artist who was half vampire, who was fucking up vampires. He was the Daywalker. It's a fun superhero movie more than anything.
But the movie wasn't really about the vampires.
Yeah,
Okay,
right.
so
It was like they were the enemy and he was the good guy. That was the movie.
Okay.
The movie was essentially, revenge. They killed Riddler. Oh shit,
So what about like what's the one that the teenage heartthrobby one that kind of ruined it?
Oh, Twilight? Yeah, that's bullshit.
But do you consider those vampire movies?
Yeah, those are vampire movies.
All right.
They're fun. They're fun. If you're a girl, there's a lot of stuff that girls like that I don't like. I don't have to like it for it to be good. Obviously, it made hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. People love those movies.
Yeah, but I'm not one of those people that's like, it doesn't have to be good for me to like it. Because there's a lot of people that like bad movies.
Right.
I can't get with it.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of watching bad movies, but Nosferatu.
This is the trailer for
good.
Nosferatu?
Yeah. It's really good, dude. It's really good. Like, for real, like if you like a good old-fashioned hard vampire movie, and the dude who plays Count Orlok is the dude who played Pennywise in It.
Wait.
And it's the best vampire ever. They're probably not going to show you anything in the trailer, what he looked like. But holy shit, dude, there's this one scene where you get to see like his whole body naked when he rises up out of the coffin. Spoiler alert. It's insane. And not just creepy, but beautifully shot.
Oh, I remember seeing previews for this.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, it's good. It's good. It's good. And they're not going to even show you, even in the trailer, they don't show you the vampire.
See, I
and
like
when you do get to see the dude, it's incredible. That's not real. That is like some fan-made shit. There's a video where you could see him. Google Orlok.
Dog, so much of the shit on the internet is bullshit.
I was trying not to spoil it for Brian.
What he looks like?
It's a big reveal in the movie.
I don't know.
Really?
But it's based on the image, the way he looks is based on the original Legend of Dracula, which was a guy named Vlad the Impaler. So
he was real.
Yeah, this is what he looks like in this.
No.
But you got to see it. Like, this is a very toned down version of it. It's incredible. But like, if you like a good scary horror movie, it's the best vampire movie.
I love a reveal.
It's a great reveal. It's really good, and they drag it out. Like, you get to see him kind of in the beginning, and then eventually you get to really see him, and you're like, oh my god.
And this isn't my take. I've heard other people talk about it like this, but that's the other thing that made Alien great was like, before it's like you don't always show the monster.
Exactly.
Right? Because it's like because like horror is like seeing the monster and how much it's gonna definitely kill you.
Yes.
But like terror is like knowing that there's some shit in here and I don't know what the fuck it is.
You need a little foreplay.
Yeah. It's like I walk in.
Before you get horrified.
Why is Johnson dead?
Yes.
I was just in here with it. What the fuck? Why the wall built it? That's the shit that makes it good.
Exactly. And this movie does it perfect.
Jaws.
That's
why Jaws was such a hit.
Yeah. That's right.
Jaws was great. It still holds up. Predator still holds up. You ever seen Predator?
Predator holds up.
That still holds up. The first Predator?
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
No. My favorite line is when
Jesse Ventura?
No, when they walk into the woods and the old boy keeps making noise, he goes, "You bucket this motherfucker." Like he tell him, like, if you keep making noise, I'm gonna bleed you.
Ooh.
I'm gonna like leave you out here. I forget what the word is he used, but he was like, that's like you telling everybody where the fuck we at. By the way, you moving, talking, tripping, sliding.
Yeah, there's something about that. The idea that a sporting alien would come down and hunt people that's uniquely scary.
So many iconic scenes in there too.
Oh yeah.
The joint where the native dude is like, fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take off my shit. I'm gonna cut my chest.
Yeah.
What's up? That's a fucking dope one. The one where Arnold and Apollo Creed, where they do this right here.
Yeah.
So this was wild. That's a meme now.
Yeah.
Right? Just their arms.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of people don't even know that it's from Predator. They just see it as like that's the meme.
Right.
Yeah, I've tried to show that to one of my nephews. He was like, "Oh, that's like the cooperation meme or whatever the fuck they call it."
They started getting silly with Aliens versus Predator. Remember that? They were doing that
yeah.
for a while.
But
there it is.
I'm here for that. I'm here.
Oh, that's an arm wrestling senior predator. Yeah, that's it.
They're like, this is how two badasses say hello.
Yeah, they have arm wrestling in the air. It's so stupid. It's so dumb.
No, this movie the dialogue is crazy.
That's back when Carl Weathers was jacked.
Yeah.
okay.
Never did know when to quit, huh?
You didn't know when to quit, huh?
What is this fucking Thai business?
Oh, come on, forget about my time.
The way they acted back then was like it was a different form of language. It's like it seemed so fake. Compared, like if that was like a director today, like the same director that did Nosferatu, he'd be like, cut. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Are you guys really meeting each other for the first time, or is this like a play? Come on,
But also it's like,
convince me.
bro, the run that Arnold had,
Oh, he did a gang of great movies.
like just actions, like he's the action
Conan,
star.
bro. He did Conan.
Conan the Barbarian.
You know who was the best Conan though?
What?
Jason Momoa.
What?
Jason Momoa did a terrible Conan movie, but he was the best Conan because he was the only Conan that looked like Conan really looked. Like Conan was like super muscular, but he wasn't a bodybuilder. He looked like a killer. He looked like a UFC fighter. He looked like Yuri Prohaska would be a good Conan, like that kind of build, like a big, strong guy, but not a bodybuilder.
Wait,
and also, it's like the film was more stylistically appropriate to like the Conan lore
Well, what do you mean how Conan looked?
in the books.
Oh, I didn't know Conan was books.
Oh, dude, I'm a super Conan nerd.
So
Super nerd.
there was like a comic book before.
Yeah, well, it was a book. Robert E. Howard. He wrote books about Conan the Conqueror. And he created this whole, like, world of Samaria, where he's from, and this whole lore of this one usurper who rises and kills everybody. And that's Conan. And he slays dragons and monsters and demons and, you know. I think he comes back from the dead at one point in time. Like, he's the greatest warrior of all time.
Like, you know what Conan was for me as a kid? It was my first like John Wick.
Right.
Where it was
right.
like, oh, this
right.
dude gonna fuck everything up.
Well, that's how the books were.
Yeah.
The books were incredible. The books were written by a guy who lived with his mom and committed suicide. So the dude was like, he wanted, his life sucked. He was super depressed. And he got thrill out of imagining him being Conan the Barbarian and conquering lands and having sex with all these beautiful women and
So
killing
who published the book?
sorcerers.
They came up after he died?
No, this is like in the 30s is when he wrote it? Yeah. It was a long time ago he wrote these books. And then they turned them into comic books in the 1960s? When did they start making Conan comic books? So then they had the comic books, and then they had illustrated books. And then I think that was the first Conan movie, was Arnold. I think he was the first Conan movie. And then there's been a few attempts since then, but no one has really captured the books like stylistically, except for like the Jason Momoa movie. But the movie just wasn't that good. It just wasn't someone needs to you need like a real, like a Robert Eggers, the guy who did this Nosferatu movie. That's his name, right? It's Robert Eggers, right?
Sorry.
The guy who did the Nosferatu movie?
Yes, I think, yeah.
That guy. If like that guy did a Conan movie, it would be sick. But it has to be like a realistic movie. It has to be a movie of this realistic warrior encountering these crazy things. It can't be like cartoonish. It can't be like, I just have to believe this dumb shit. Too much suspension of disbelief. It's got to be like a wild movie based.
The Northman.
Oh, The Northman was amazing. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. This kind of movie is exactly like what Conan would have to be. That movie's fucking great. That's like one of the best Viking movies, if not the best one
It's
ever.
actually dark as hell.
Really good movie. Oh, there's no good guys in that movie.
No.
That movie's crazy and probably representative of the real life of Vikings, the way they really lived, because they were fucking ruthless. That movie's great, but it's also got like it was supernatural in it. There's a lot of cool shit in that movie.
Yeah. I mean, they believed in a lot of supernatural shit.
If that guy directed Conan, holy shit. Then you would get to see like the real books, because the Robert E. Howard books were great.
So the same guy that did Nosferatu did Northman?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Bro, it's good. It's fucking good. No, the Nosferatu is one of the best movies I've seen in a long time. It's great. And it's so beautiful. Like the way it's shot is so beautiful. There's a scene when he's walking up to the castle. It's the creepiest setup of all time. It's so good. I don't want to ruin it.
Okay.
It's so good. If you like those kind of movies, I love those kind of movies. I grew up on monster movies. I grew up on that's why I have that American Werewolf in London out there. I grew up on all of that.
I'm here for monsters, action, revenge. That's my kind of movies.
Nosferatu cinematographer promises Robert Eggers' Werewolf is unlike anything done before.
Wow.
A medieval werewolf movie. Oh, boy. And the primary candidate has never been used in a film. What does that mean?
Maybe the guy they want to lead it.
Oh, yeah.
The actor or the
Perfect.
Subject, like the character of the.
Oh,
Wait a minute.
so it's a new character.
He did The Lighthouse too?
Yeah.
Wow.
That shit was weird.
And The Witch.
Wow, that guy's done some killer fucking movies. I'm excited about this werewolf movie. I've been saying that forever. Someone needs to make another good werewolf movie. Like that Benicio del Toro one.
Specific medieval image or tale of werewolfery that's being kept close to their chest. So it's like a story that hasn't been made into a movie yet.
Yeah, but medieval. So like candlelight, spooky. This is going to be awesome.
Remember the Jack Nicholson werewolf one? What was that called?
Oh, yeah, that was terrible. With Michelle Pfeiffer. That was so stupid. They're like, it looked just like a person.
I went and saw that. My family went and saw that, and I went and saw a different movie. It was the first time that, because it was like a thing we did. We'd go to the movies like every other week. But my father, my stepdad didn't give a fuck about no age limit, and they're like, "You gonna see what we see?" And this was the first time I was like, "I don't want to see that shit," and I still ended up going in there after because my movie was over before this. I think I went and saw
This is a Jack Nicholson
Short
one.
Circuit 2 or something.
Look, he's going and chasing after this deer. I'm a wolf. Look, he just looks like a regular guy. It's so dopey. It's so silly. Like, look at this. They decided to make a horror movie that wasn't that scary. And he moves like the $6 million man. Look, slow motion jump, obviously a stunt man. And he's going to tackle this deer. And I'm supposed to believe this. I'm supposed to believe that this dude who just looks like a dude can run faster than a fucking deer. Look, he's running. It's so dumb. He's flying through the air. Like, how does becoming a human that's part wolf make you this fast when you look exactly the same? No, he's on a tree. He flies and he grabs the deer. This is so stupid. It's so stupid. See, the owl's freaking out. This is crazy. This is crazy. Did you ever see the Benicio del Toro one? There's one good scene. One good scene when the doctors are examining him and they're trying to tell him that he's out of his fucking mind, and the doctor's speaking in one of those medical theaters like they used to do in the 1800s, and he's explaining that this person has delusions and they think they're going to be a wolf, and so we're going to show him by having him tied to this chair while the moon turns full, and we're going to like cure him of whatever the fuck is wrong with his brain. So they have him in this thing. Give me some volume on this.
And once Mr. Talbot has witnessed that the full moon holds no sway over him, that he remains a perfectly ordinary human being, he will have taken his first small step down the long road to mental recovery.
I can just feel everybody in this room about to die.
Everybody's going to die. It's great.
Oh, this is awesome.
He witnessed his mother's self-mutilations.
Stupid.
His young mind, unable
Smith
to
showed up.
accept it, created a fantastical truth that his father is to blame.
His father's a werewolf.
Skip ahead or
Yeah, skip ahead a little bit.
Moron. Tonight I will kill all of you. I will kill all of you.
Yes, well, as you can see, lycanthropy
Please do something
is
about
a disease of the mind, existing
Kill me.
somewhere in the deep
Kill me.
recesses of Mr. Talbot's spirit. To him, it seems very real. The subject has gone both and physical sensitizing in order
Get the fuck out of there, man. What more you need to see?
to be locked, sir.
It's a great fucking scene.
See, my only problem.
Great
with,
fucking scene.
My only problem with it is it's not a scary enough wolf.
It's not.
Everything else is great.
It's not like American Werewolf in London. It's too much like the Wolfman, which is what it was kind of based on, like an updated version of the Wolfman.
It's more like
the same guy who did that makeup, by the way, did the American Werewolf in London. That was Rick Baker.
It was like the Teen Wolf.
Was right? Was Rick Baker that did that? Right? Yeah, Rick Baker. So the thing is, though, it was not CGI, and that's what they were trying to achieve. Because like, there's a difference between the way it looks. When it's a dude with a mask on, it looks more realistic. Like, it doesn't take you out of it. And there's something about CGI that even if the wolf looks good, it takes you out of it. Like, the American Werewolf in London, you didn't get to see shit for like a long time. Like, It was deep into that movie. You saw flashes of the wolf until it was in Piccadilly Square and it started like killing people. Remember that?
It's been a long time since I've seen that movie.
The guy turns into a werewolf in the movie theater. He goes to a dirty movie theater. So he's in this dirty movie theater, and they're playing porno films, and he's talking to his dead friend, who's telling him he's got to kill himself. He's going to become a wolf and kill people. And his friend is, like, rotting. It's hilarious. It's very funny. And he turns into the wolf in the movie theater, kills everybody, and then bursts out onto the street and starts killing people in traffic.
And I do remember, like, there's a scene with a subway scene, right?
Yes. There's a subway scene where there's a businessman. He's trying to get away, and he sees it, like, creeping up on him. That's a good scene, too, because you barely see the wolf. You see this guy running, and you know that it's coming after him. You see the terrified look in his face. And at the end of the scene, you see the wolf enter into the frame at the bottom of the escalator where this guy's like completely exhausted and sliding down this escalator.
Bro, you know the scariest movie I've seen recently? Well, I guess maybe scary ain't the right word, but it was the sequel to X.
The sequel to X?
And I'm forgetting the name of it. Yeah, not Malcolm X, but like it's the same, but the same girl played in both movies. You know what I'm talking about? It was called like she was like so the sequel to this movie.
So what is X?
It's about like
it's a slasher film?
Yeah, it's a slasher film, yeah.
Ooh.
And but the sequel to it, because I never saw that when I saw this.
Okay.
I still haven't seen X.
So
what's
X
it called?
Maxine with 2 X's, 3 X's?
No, that's not it. It's not Maxine.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I had the screen up. Shit, my bad.
No, that's not
That's what
it.
it said was a sequel right here.
No,
that's not it.
It's got that same girl in it. Who's
Prequel?
who's the star of this? Pearl. That's what I mean.
Oh,
so Pearl was a
prequel.
prequel. Oh, okay. I didn't realize. Okay, so Pearl came out. I saw Pearl before. I haven't seen any of the rest of these. And this shit is. I liked it.
And she's a serial killer?
She's insane. No, this is not the right show. But it's like you kind of know she's the monster the whole time, but she doesn't become monstrous. It's kind of the same thing.
And she's cute?
Yeah, she's cute. She's adorable. At first glance.
I want to be special, dancing up on the screen like the pretty girls in the pictures.
I will not let you leave this farm again.
I'm worried there may be something real wrong with me.
Rumor has it they only take one gal per town.
We're looking for someone with X Factor.
Has to be me.
How about a film nobody else has seen?
Is it legal?
Will be eventually.
I know what I've done.
Yeah, that dude's making a huge mistake.
Terrible, awful, murderous things. I want to be loved from as many people as possible. But truth is, I'm not really a good person.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, bro. Like, you want to talk about Like
This looks psychotic.
Like this bitch is just slipping into insanity further and deeper and deeper and deeper.
I just don't think you should show this to America right now. You know what I'm saying? Like after people celebrated Luigi, we don't want to like glorify people that just go on killing rampages.
It wasn't a rampage. In fact, that's the thing. That's the thing I respect more is that, like the people that like shoot up a place. It's like if you mad at somebody, go after them. Why are you killing the people that got to do with your beef? Right? At least he was like specific. He didn't like.
That's another one that's been memory hold. The New Orleans guy just ran over all those people.
What New Orleans guy?
You didn't hear about this?
No.
This was how long ago, Jamie?
That's the thing. New Year's Eve, they were like within 8 hours of each other. This
New Orleans guy turns down Bourbon Street and just runs people over. Ran over like 200 people. Bunch of people got fucked up. Bunch of people died. How many people died?
I think at least 14 last.
I think like 200 people were injured.
Wow.
14 people dead.
More. He was in a Cybertruck too?
Yeah, and he was also...
Not a Cybertruck.
No, he was... not a Cybertruck. But he was also one of the guys from Fort Bragg. Like, we were talking about it yesterday with Metzger. Metzger will get you believing conspiracies. Bro, Metzger will take you down some rabbit holes.
He just hit you with so many, though.
So many in a row.
I can't even get... Like, that's like his...
Oh, you didn't know?
His entertainment.
Oh, yeah. It's his life.
Yeah, and I'm on the complete opposite end of the spectrum.
Exactly.
I like to hear people that's into it talk about it, but I'm never gonna go look it up.
Yeah, well, luckily, Kurt gets it. If you're like, dude, I can't right now. Like, he'll stop. If you say, I can't do this right now. I got to go on stage in 5 minutes. I can't hear how many people Hillary Clinton killed.
Bro, I think he probably is abreast at every conspiracy theory.
Right, but he believes a bunch of them that are kooky. He and I have had some conversations about ones. I'm like, wait, why do you believe that? Like, that one doesn't make any sense.
Because the primary belief is that the official story is bullshit.
100%.
So
which is probably true a lot of the time.
Right, but where you run into logical trouble is like just because they lying don't mean that the first alternative that people give you is the truth.
Right, like some kooky YouTube video.
Yeah,
that's got it broken down.
So it's like they don't want you to know.
Maybe.
I saw, bro. Did you see this shit? Godfrey,
the comic.
Yeah. So he had, I forget the name of the scientist, but he had like a scientist come on and debate Lord Jamar. Lord Jamar's a flat earther, and it didn't go.
Oh.
It didn't go well.
Of course, it didn't.
That
doesn't make any sense. Was that Professor Dave guy?
Yeah, Professor Dave.
Yeah, Professor Dave's done quite a few of those. He's doing the world a nice favor.
Yeah, but it's like, but bro, imagine that being your whole life is just opposition.
Well, to what? To bad science. It's to people getting led down a bad road and believing something that's uniquely preposterous.
No, but
the Earth is flat.
You know Christopher Hitchens, right?
Sure.
He made his whole career like debating Christians and Muslims, and he would like go to their churches and debate their leaders.
Right.
And somebody asked him one time, like, "Hey, if you could snap your fingers and make all religion just go away, like, would you do that?" And he was like, "Honestly, no, because I just like arguing with them too much." Or something to that effect. Those weren't his exact words, but it was like, I think you got to be a special kind of person to be like, no, I want all the smoke. I want to argue directly with people that I don't think.
Well, Christopher Hitchens was uniquely brilliant, and he was so good at forming arguments and sentences, and his grasp of the language was so expert.
He was a great speaker.
Amazing speaker. So that he would have these conversations with these people, and they'd be like woefully underprepared. And they couldn't handle. He also has an incredible amount of knowledge when it comes to religion, whether it's Christianity or Islam, and he'll call out everything that has ever happened that's terrible that every one of them has done, and he knows that information at the tip of his fingers at any given time.
I grew up religious, and he was the one that made me be like, oh.
He makes some very, very, very compelling, logical arguments. There's also the problem with religion is that there's so many of them, too, and they're so different, and they all think that they have the right one. That's a real problem. But I think the desire for religion seems to be a part of the structure of our thinking. It's like one of those things that reoccurs everywhere there's groups of people. There's a desire for meaning, and then there's a connection to a higher power that we all seem to agree is not just likely, but you feel its presence every now and then.
But also it's like we're puzzle solving creatures.
Yeah.
So it's like the need to have an answer to the puzzles.
Oh yeah, and also to have a daddy. We always want someone who is above us, whether it's the president or the mayor or your father, whoever it is. You want some person who's looking out for you, and it is watching over everything and has a plan for all of it.
Wait until your God gets home, young man.
Yeah, wait until you God is watching, you jerk off.
Oh man, that fucked me up for a little while when I was like,
because God was watching all the time.
Because we used to go when I was little. There was a church that was also a school. Like they were a Christian school, but on Sunday they used the school buses to go pick up kids, just like school, but it was for church. And we got sent to that. It wasn't even the church my grandmother went to. She just sent us to this one.
What is better, an overly religious childhood or a childhood filled with crime and violence? Clearly overly religious, right? That's better. Because you can learn your way out of some stupid shit that they talked you into when you were young, depending on what the religion is. But crime and violence gets you killed, someone else gets killed, you go to jail. It's not good. Like, it's definitely better in terms of, like, what is more compatible with society to grow up very religious with very strict rules. And then maybe as you get older, you sort of recognize that.
Doesn't it depend on which religion?
It does. It definitely does.
Yeah.
It definitely does. I mean, you have some religions where you get a gang of wives. Woo! You get
That sounds like more trouble than it's worth.
Yes. Well, that's the reason why the Mormons moved to Mexico.
They moved to Mexico. What you mean?
You don't know about that?
They're not in Utah no more?
Listen, when Mitch, what's his name? The fucking
Mitch
guy
McConnell?
ran for president?
Mitt
Romney.
Mitt Romney.
Mitt. That's why I was fucking up. Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney's dad was born in Mexico, so his dad couldn't be president. But Mitt was born in America. Mitt Romney's family was Mormon, and they moved to Mexico in the 1800s because of religious persecution, and part of that was polygamy. They made polygamy illegal. So these guys, well, fuck it. This is like the 1800s. They're like, Mexico ain't no different than America in the 1800s. Before cars, everyone's on a horse, you got a house, whatever. Right. Same shit. Let's go to Mexico. So they went to Mexico. And to this day, they have giant Mormon compounds in Mexico. And then recently, there was a situation, like they're armed to protect themselves against the cartel. It's like wild shit goes down. And I think it was like a family was killed. I think it might have been an accident that the cartel mistook them for someone else or someone did. And there was like this real problem.
Did they get revenge?
I don't know what happened. I don't remember how the story went down, but I remember it was a big international story. And then everybody was like, wait, what's going on? There's giant camps of armed Mormons in Mexico?
Yeah, they don't fuck around.
Like, why did they move to Mexico? And that's why they moved to Mexico. It's because they have religious freedom.
They don't fuck around. And they
religious freedom
at the forefront of shit. I bet you the Mormons got an app.
Oh, they probably have an app.
Yeah.
That's the story, right? That they were killed by the cartel. I think it was a woman and her child was killed by the cartel.
6 children, 3 women.
6 children. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Attacking a group of Mormon families in Mexico. So 9 women, scroll back up. 9 women and children from a Mormon community in Mexico were killed while traveling in the 3-car caravan south of the U.S.-Mexico border on Monday. 3 women and 6 children, all with dual U.S.-Mexican citizenship, were killed in the attack. Security Minister Alfonso Durazo said in a news conference Tuesday. Here's what we know about the attack. The victims were all shot while in the vehicles while driving. Investigators believe the 3 vehicles traveling between the Mexican states of Sonora and Chihuahua were ambushed by criminal groups Monday, Mexican authorities said. Women and children between 14 years old and 10 months were massacred, burned alive. LeBaron said mothers were screaming for the fire to stop. They were driving together for safety reasons, said Kendrick Lee Miller, whose sister-in-law was killed in the attack. The family was supposed to go to Miller's wedding next week in Lamora, she said. Wow.
How she know they were screaming? Was she there?
I don't know, man. I don't think everybody died.
So
5 children who were hospitalized in Tucson will survive, while Jessup, whose son married Donna Langford's daughter, told CNN. Willie Jessup, 3 of the children have very serious injuries, but 2 others could be discharged soon.
And they wasn't connected to that dope shit? They got to be.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. Because they said it was a mistake of mistaken identity.
But they always say that. Because listen, this is why that don't make sense to me.
Oh, no. They don't say that. It said it's not clear if the attacks were specifically targeted or if the family was a case of mistaken identity.
You don't accidentally shoot the wrong caravan. I mean, what's the chances that another caravan look just like yours?
Well, here's what it says. It said Castaneda said there were long-standing tensions between the families and the cartels. He said one of the women killed was an activist and there were frictions over water rights. Oh, Jesus Christ. Whew. Scary, dog.
I mean, it's scary for whoever live down there.
Yeah.
I feel pretty safe where I'm at.
Yeah, but imagine living in a place that's controlled by the cartel. Like, the government has its faults in the United States, but it's a superior system.
But hasn't the Mexican government started cracking down on the cartel?
I don't know.
They did that shit somewhere. I mean, I'm pretty sure the dude is a dictator. But he just locked everybody up.
Venezuela.
It's Venezuela?
Yeah, they literally imprisoned all the gang members.
They just locked every single even if he was associated.
They made these giant prisons and they just filled the prisons up with gang members and the crime just stopped.
But that was the immediate effect. Is that still the case now?
I don't know. It's a good question. Like, is that what they're going to do forever? They're just going to keep these guys in that cage for the rest of their lives?
That's expensive.
It is expensive, but is it less expensive than letting them wreak havoc and ruin your entire community? I don't know. It's a very totalitarian thing.
That depends on who you give a fuck about.
Well, it also depends on how many of those people were set up. How many of those people weren't actually in a gang? How many of those people were maybe somebody doesn't like you?
I mean,
probably a little bit of that going on.
In that type of situation where it's a drastic change, and they rounding up hundreds of thousands of people, there's gonna be a couple of revenge joints slipped in there.
Yeah.
Oh damn, sorry, Jorge, I accidentally put.
Yeah, crazy. Oh, El Salvador.
Oh,
it's not Venezuela. Right. It's El Salvador. Look at that. Oh my God. They just said, fuck it. We're just going to take crime down to zero.
So it's just life in prison?
Well, you know what, man? I mean, is this better? It seems like it's better than having the criminals run society and kill everybody.
I mean, but at least get them on some bicycles, providing free power or something.
I don't know. And what have they done? But also, if you grow up in that community, what are you going to do? If you grow up and your whole family's involved in the gangs, what do you do? You're literally guilty by birth. If you grow up in those communities and that's all they've been doing forever, what do you do? What do you do?
How do you sustain that too?
Right. I guess if you have enough money, because now you don't have to fight crime anymore. So now everybody's locked up. It's dark.
Or it's just going to be new criminals.
Yeah. What could fix the world, Brian Simpson? Is it going to be technology? Is it going to be mushrooms?
You know my stance. We done. Nothing's going to fix this shit, bro. We're cooked. We passed the point of no return.
But why do you think that, though? Because people can exist in small groups together in harmony. Why can't they exist together in large groups in harmony?
Because I think people are less intelligent in the way in large groups. The larger the group, the dumber the average IQ, I bet. In terms of how people behave.
Well, I think also in larger groups, you don't have to think as much because things are set up for you.
Yeah, and it's just because you know how I know we're doomed.
Okay.
Online gaming. When you go play a team, I'm playing this Marvel Rival shit everybody playing now, but it's try to get matched up randomly with 5 other people and get everybody to cooperate. And how often you come across people that are just completely selfish to the point where they'll lose on purpose. And they take the penalty for losing too, but just to ruin your day.
Well, that's just randoms that you're meeting online, though.
Right, but I mean,
you got to cultivate.
You see how people communicate, and obviously, gaming is a certain demographic. But I just mean
incels.
It just reminds me. It's not incels. It's regular people out there that just act like assholes when they're anonymous.
Because they can. Yeah.
So people will do selfish shit. Or you see these game shows where it's it's that whole what's it called, the prisoner's dilemma or whatever.
Yeah,
we could all win or I could win.
Right.
And how often do you see people just go
all the time?
Fuck all of y'all.
And they probably encourage you to do it because it makes for good TV.
So look, and I know, there's good people out there. I meet extraordinary people all the time now, especially now that I live here. I meet people all the time that's wow, you. If it was more people like you,
yes,
we would be good. But it's so little people like you.
Right. But how many people like that do you know now? You know a lot, right? You know a lot more.
Not enough.
Yeah, but you know a lot more. And the key is just to try to limit your associations with people who aren't exceptional. Try to be exceptional, first of all, to attract exceptional people, and then kind of like encourage you got to surround yourself with people that are cool. Like, surround yourself with people that are interesting. Surround yourself with people that are exceptional. It gives you, like, energy in this life. It gives you, like, motivation.
Yeah, but then you got to make new friends. I'm not with that either.
Some friends are worth making. Some new friends are worth making.
Yeah,
but I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
You know
it's
what it
hard.
is? I can make a new friend. I'm very emotionally unavailable. So I just need friends that don't need that. You know what I mean?
That's interesting you say that, because you're very friendly. I don't know why you think you're emotionally unavailable. I think you just don't like to be bothered by nonsense that people could fix on their own.
There you go. I'm very easily irritated.
Yeah, but you're not emotionally unavailable. Like, when we talk about stuff, like everybody talks about stuff in the green room, you're like one of the most, like, honest people when you talk about things.
Maybe emotionally unavailable is not the right word, but I feel very much burdened by unexpected obligations.
Yeah.
So like, if you hit me with some last minute shit,
get out of here.
Or you constantly need me, because I'll be there for you. But if you're constantly needing stuff and it's good to the
exactly. But you got to realize that's a transactional situation.
I know.
Then. That's a bad situation. That's not a situation. You haven't surrounded yourself with people that are like autonomous.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that aren't. They like need friends for everything they do. And they can't make decisions. They don't get their shit together.
Bro, you know what? I love being by myself. I love going to a restaurant alone. I love company too, but I'll go to the movies alone. I like being alone. I like shopping alone.
Well, you have a balance where you spend enough time in front of like thousands of people.
Because you know what I don't like? I don't like variables. It's like the more people that come, the more shit can switch up, the more shit can go wrong.
That's true.
Oh yeah.
And also you get like all these social dynamics at play when there's a bunch of people together.
Yeah. Like how many times have we eaten dinner? What would you say is the perfect amount of people to bring to dinner?
It depends. There was this one time, I don't want to say the time, but where there was a bunch of us and a bunch of other people, and it really helped that there was a bunch of us because we all huddled up together.
Oh, right.
Remember that time?
Yeah. Oh, and don't forget, Vegas was great. It was a lot of people at that table then.
Oh, yeah. But
that
we
work.
knew all those people.
Right.
You know, those all people were like close friends. So it was a good time. It wasn't like there was no social dynamics at play. You know, when we're all hanging out, it's generally just fun. There's no like one person's trying to get to the top.
Yeah, comics are different.
Yeah.
But 6 is for me.
6 is a good number.
If I hear that it's going to be more than 6, now it's like it's going to be separate conversations, and it's going to be.
And what if Bob can't drink? What if Bob starts drinking and gets real loud?
Right, and then you need vegan options. And,
someone's non-gluten, gluten-free, please. Do you have a gluten-free menu?
Yeah, but yeah. I don't like being in big groups.
Right. I know what you mean. I get it. It's like, you know, like when you're a group of people and then one person has a friend that they tell you is cool.
Oh,
Don't worry, Bob's cool.
Like, bro, my middle name could be who all gonna be there.
Right.
You invite me to something? Cause even now, like Derek and them, they'll invite me to stuff even though they know I'm not coming.
Right.
Oh yeah. Dude, come to the. Nah, okay, I'm good.
But that's also like a reflection on your sense of humor, because you're always finding things that are stupid in everything. Your act is essentially, let me tell you about some stupid shit.
No, it's a gift and a curse.
Oh, it's a gift.
That's why I say, like, ignorance is bliss. When you notice too much, you can't be happy. You can't possibly be happy. Or you got to distract yourself with, like, you can be happy for a second when you're on a drug or having a good time.
Right.
But eventually you go, how did that fucking helicopter crash into a plane?
Yeah. You think about all these different variables. You know, I used to say that to my students when they would fight, because a lot of them that were really smart, I would notice they would be much more nervous.
Wait, what did you teach?
Than the dumb kids. Martial arts. What do you mean?
Of course it's martial arts, but my dumb ass, my mind went to like you be teaching in the classroom like a professor.
Oh, and they would fight? No. No. I mean, I'd take them to tournaments. So I had students that I would take to tournaments, and the really smart ones would be the most scared, and I would have to tell them it's because you're smart. The reason why you're scared is because you're aware of all the variables and you know you're vulnerable. Whereas dumb people don't think that. They're overconfident and they're not aware of all the variables. But you can overcome this. I'd be like, I did it too. I have the same feeling. I don't want to do it. It's stupid. Why am I doing this? Why am I risking my health? Why am I risking my safety? You have all those thoughts that are going to go in your head, but you're going to learn something about yourself from doing this. And you're smart, and that's why you're nervous. And you should be nervous because it'll help you. It'll help you move faster. I used to use Customato's expression. The Customato, this great thing that he told Mike Tyson. He said, fear is like a fire. It can cook your food if you can control it, or it could burn your house down. And that's what it's like. It's like that, but the intelligent people are the ones that are aware of it. The intelligent people are the ones that oftentimes struggle the most with overcoming anxiety to compete. Because they're aware of how fucking dangerous this actually is. They're not blissfully unaware like a moron just walking into a cage fight, not knowing they might get knocked the fuck out. You know, not going to happen to me, bro. There's a lot of those not going to happen to me, bro guys.
Yeah, but you can still be world champion and be that person.
Oh, well, if you're gifted.
Right.
If you're gifted and if you're genetically gifted, you know, and if you're driven and you really work hard and you enjoy it, yeah, you could get pretty far.
Now, you're not going to talk well. You're not going to speak well in like
at the
20
end.
years.
Yeah, at the end, it's going to be rough.
Because it's amazing to me. Like that's another thing. Like when we talk about like legacy and stuff like that, but MMA wise, John Jones is like the equivalent to Floyd Mayweather in terms of like how little damage he's taken over.
Yes, there was a few fights where they were real rough. The Dominic Reyes fight was real rough. He got hit a bunch of times in that fight.
The first Gustafsson fight.
He got caught a few times by Lyoto Machida before he put him to sleep. Lyoto was catching him he hit him with one big left hand. Rashad Evans clipped him with a big right hand. But for the most part, John is the very best at utilizing distance and also having a strategy.
He said that was the hardest he ever got hit, Rashad Evans.
Rashad? Yeah. Well, Rashad knocked Chuck Liddell out cold with that punch. Remember?
Yeah.
Out cold. One shot.
Was that the first time Chuck Liddell got knocked out?
No. Chuck Liddell had gotten stopped by Rampage and Pride.
Okay.
And then Chuck Liddell, I mean, he'd been stopped a few times.
No, I mean, like, but
I think Shogun stopped
his
him.
rise.
No, because Rampage stopped him during his rise. Like Rampage stopped him when the UFC, when he was a champ maybe he wasn't the champ. He was like the best guy or one, like because like Tito was the champ for a little before Chuck fought Tito, and everybody knew that Chuck was going to beat Tito. It was one of those things where like this is a bad matchup because Chuck is a really good wrestler and just a ferocious striker, ferocious and so aggressive and just nasty power, and just would throw himself into the wars. Throw himself. He had an iron chin. So you just fuck you. He just throw himself, and really skillful too, man. Like underrated skills, but just a desire for the firefight that was like nobody else. But Rampage beat him. Rampage stopped him in Pride. So they had an exchange where they were going to send UFC fighters over to Pride to fight the best Pride guys. And Chuck was one of the best UFC guys. And Rampage stopped him. And Chuck fought Alistair Overeem, and Alistair Overeem was doing really well, but Alistair...
Damn.
Chuck stopped Alistair.
Just that bitch, though. Rampage used to have that motherfucker.
Oh, bro, this was when Chuck was Chuck, right? This is not like past his prime Chuck. This was like in his prime Chuck. But Rampage was fucking ferocious. He was so good. And Pride had knees to the head on the ground, all this shit. And Rampage eventually, I believe he stopped him with like body shots on the ground, if I remember correctly. I remember he just beat him up and then they stopped the fight. I think he just got on top of him at one point in time. It was a grueling fucking fight, though. But I think this is like the end of it right here. He was just beating him down, and eventually they stopped the fight. So these punches to the face, and then just dig into the body.
Look how tiny that referee is.
I know. And then it looks like he got on top of him. Yeah, he got full mount, and then they stopped the fight. Yeah. That was Rampage in his prime. Rampage in his prime was a motherfucker.
I saw a video of somebody talking shit to him, like one of the young fighters now talking shit to him.
Oh, it was Kevin Holland.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
like,
Kevin Holland and him had some sort of a disagreement.
Yeah, so they don't get that. He don't get like legend status, like where you got to let it slide.
I don't know. Young guys are, you know how they are.
Because that's like if Randy Couture say something out of pocket.
Right.
And you're a fighter, like you kind of got to let that shit go.
You got to let it slide. He's a legend. Rampage is a legend. You know, it's like there's a lot of guys. You just you know, when you talk about BJ Penn, talk about him with respect.
Yeah, because also like it doesn't look good.
No,
you arguing with
especially like I'll fight you right now, like that kind of shit. Like
right, that's not a good look.
Yeah,
bro.
especially the guy like paved the way. Like Rampage was. This was like when Rampage fought Chuck. What year was that? Was that like 2003? What year was that?
I'm gonna guess 05. Oh,
Was
man.
it 2007?
Oh wait, this is the UFC though. That Pride fight was different.
Yeah, well, Rampage knocked Chuck out.
That was like 05 probably.
In the UFC too. Rampage caught Chuck with a right hook.
2003, the video we were just watching.
2003. So then they fought again in 2007. Is that what happened?
Mm-hmm.
Show that one. Yeah, Rampage knocked out Vanderlei Silva. He lost to Vanderlei Silva twice though, brutally in Pride. One of the fights was fucking brutal knockout. Like, he got kneed in the face and went through the ropes unconscious.
What?
So this is Chuck and Rampage in the UFC. This is when Rampage won the title. And, Chuck had already fought him once and got stopped, so he was wary. But this
is way past his pride, Chuck, right?
No, he was in his prime, man. He was still in his prime. He was the champion. Chuck was the champion at this point in time. But Rampage was fucking good, man. He was fucking good. Yeah. And just so dangerous. Boom. And I was saying he's the funniest guy in MMA. He's very funny. I actually interviewed him I did that UFC show for a while. I forget what it's called. But it was, we hung out together. We rolled. We did jiu-jitsu. Went and got something to eat. But he's very funny, dude. He used to have this crazy monster truck. There it is. Boom. That's how he won the title.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Chuck's confused, but, that's what happens when you get knocked out. You don't know what the fuck happened. You think you're fine.
Really?
Yeah, you don't know what happened. You get shut off. You're like, what happened? Like sometimes guys get shut off and then they dive for the referee's legs and they think they're still fighting. They take the referee down.
I've seen the dude swinging at the ref.
Oh, yeah. They don't know what's happening. I mean, a lot of these guys are on like full fight or flight after they get tagged. They're just it's just chaos. They don't know what they're seeing. Referees get hit all the time.
Yeah, that's why I was like, look how tiny you saw how tiny that motherfucker was. Like, what you gonna do? What are you stopping in there?
Right. How are you gonna get Rampage off of
I
Chuck
like
Liddell?
Herb Dean dive at motherfuckers
right.
and move them.
Well, Herb's a big guy. That's what you want, or a strong person. Like you have to have like physical
strength.
strength.
Ask you politely.
Well, imagine if like Francis is fighting. With Francis fights, how are you going to get Francis off somebody?
Right.
Like, how are you even going to move him?
And it's like, there's no way that like Herb Dean's stronger than Francis Ngannou.
Impossible.
But it's like, you got to be strong enough that they feel you. Like, they snap them out.
Yeah, you can't be 125 pounds and refereeing that fight.
I thought that was a woman at first.
Mark Goddard's good too. He's a big dude.
Mark Goddard?
Yeah, he's great for those big fights because he's
I don't think
big.
I've ever seen him in person.
You've seen Mark.
I met Herb Dean.
He's one of the best referees. The best referees. I mean, there's quite a few of them. That are really, really good. But I always say the gold standard's Herb. He's the gold standard. And Big John, when he was doing it, he was the gold standard.
He stopped?
Yeah, he does commentary now. John does commentary. Well, he's doing it for Bellator, but I think Bellator is now no longer. So he also has a podcast with Josh Thompson that's really good.
Who's that one referee that Dana White hated?
Steve Mazzagatti. Yeah.
What happened to him? Is he still referee?
I don't know. I haven't seen him in a while. I think I saw him at a kickboxing event many years later after the UFC.
He says like that dude was never going to work again. Like, that's wild shit to say and mean it.
Yeah. People make mistakes. Yeah.
But what was his fuck up though? He fucked up bad, right?
He fucked up a few of them. There's a few of those guys that fucked up a few too many fights and then they just, you just can't after a while. We need someone reliable. When you got a guy like Mark Goddard who almost never fucks up, everybody is going to fuck up. They have the second hardest job. The first hardest job is the fighter. Second hardest job is the referee.
Right.
Third hardest job is probably the judge. My job's easy.
Yeah, and the ref is they can only see from one angle. So
we miss shit all the time, and we have monitors. At least the refs have, or excuse me, the judges have monitors now. They didn't used to have monitors in the early days. We had to fight to get them monitors. We're like, we should be able to show them stuff in the replay that the crowd is seeing. Because sometimes you think a guy got knocked down, but he didn't. He just tripped.
Right.
And it looks like he got knocked down, but he just got punched on the shoulder, and they just fell down. That happened in that fight with Islam Makhachev and Moicano. Moicano caught him with a right hand. It looked like he hit him. We thought he dropped him, but really what happened is he kind of hit him in like the shoulder, and they tripped legs together, and Islam fell down. And then Islam we thought he was hurt. So if you were judging that, I mean, Islam finished him in the first round. He subbed him in the first round, so it didn't matter. But if you saw that fight, and if that went to the distance, and you said, "Oh my God, he's hurting him. He's rocking him on the feet," you would maybe score that round for Moicano. When if you saw the replay, you go, "Oh, he didn't rock him. He just slipped." So if you don't have a monitor,
can they hear y'all too?
No, they shouldn't be able to hear us because
It's
maybe
bias.
Yeah, maybe we frame it in a way that's different than the way they think it. The whole reason to have 3 different point of views is to have 3 different expert perspectives. You don't want them hearing what me and DC are saying.
Right.
You want them like watching the fight. Because if we're on someone's nuts, you know, and then this guy's like, "Oh, he definitely is winning," you know, and maybe the people at home are like, "Fuck you, the other guy was winning." Like, there's a few of those fights.
Yeah, some were. It's been a while. No, it hasn't. Since there was like a really questionable one.
You know what's an interesting one? Not a questionable one, but an interesting one is Merab versus Umar. So Merab Dvalishvili and Umar Nurmagomedov, they go to the distance, 5-round fight. Merab winds up winning a decision.
Are those on that same card?
Yeah. Amazing fight. Amazing fight. Probably the best 135-pound title fight in the history of the sport. It was incredible. It was so well matched. They went back and forth. Umar apparently broke his hand in the first round, was still throwing it for the whole fight. He wound up taking Merab down, and nobody expected that. He got Merab's back.
Yeah, I remember
he
that.
won the first 2 rounds, and the question is the third round. And so I watched it a couple of times, and me and John Anik and Daniel Cormier have been going back and forth with text about this. I was like, man, that third round is so close. It's so close. I could see judges giving it to Umar. He landed more strikes on the feet. He did get 1 takedown. Merab got a couple takedowns, but he didn't do much with the takedown. But Daniel had a really good point that at the end of it, Merab's was accelerating, and it looked like Umar was starting to get tired.
I tuned in at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I started that pay-per-view at that third round.
Yeah.
So I hadn't seen the previous 2 rounds.
But at the end of the third round, Umar has Merab's back. He's behind him, and he's controlling him against the cage. And he had wound up taking Merab down at one point in time. So it's like he landed a lot of strikes on the feet. Like, probably did more actual damage. But Merab did take him down more, and Merab was pushing the pace. And Merab did also land shots. Like, it was close. It's the third round that's the real close one, because I gave the first 2 rounds to Umar, and then you get into the third, you're like, ooh, that's the one. That one's close. Because the 4th and the 5th were clearly Merab was coming on strong. Merab was like, it was astonishing, his endurance. Astonishing. His fucking cardiovascular system's off the charts.
It was a good-ass fight.
His cardio is fucking insanity. It's insanity.
It's like Michael Chandler.
But I would be very happy to see that fight again. Very happy.
I never see Michael Chandler get tired.
Incredible.
Like, I remember his last fight when he
With
lost.
Oliveira, yeah.
Yeah, but he's sitting there standing up with a motherfucker on his back in the last round.
Yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
never see him get tired.
No, he's an animal. Well, he trains like nobody. I mean, his strength and conditioning routines, you can watch them online. They're fucking crazy. Cam Haines went and trained with him once. Said the guy's a maniac. But that's his weapon. Like, to have that kind of cardio, that kind of discipline, to have that kind of cardio.
Some people just
that
wired
work
different,
ethic.
man.
It's also the work ethic, man. You have to have that work ethic because he's been doing it for a long time, and to still have that work ethic.
That's what I mean. Even the best people in the world, they get tired of it. You know?
Yeah, he's not tired of it, man. He's definitely not tired of it. He's still exciting. I mean, Oliveira is one of the best in the world. He had Oliveira hurt in that third round. He had him hurt. Like, he had some moments in that third round where you're like, holy shit. Like, this is a real fight. And Oliveira is as good as it gets. He's one of the best submission artists in the history of the sport. And he couldn't get him. Yeah. Got him in the first fight, though. First fight, he KO'd him, remember? He hit him with that clean left hook.
I don't remember.
Chandler had him real hurt in the first round, rocked on his back, fighting him off in the first round. And then they start in the second round. Chandler moves straight to him, and Oliveira just pieces him up.
Oh, yeah, I do remember. Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
He hit him with a clean left hook. It was clean.
I think I was there.
You might have been there.
Yeah, man, we had some good ass fights this year. And now, Crawford's about to fight.
Yes, he's gonna fight Canelo.
Oh man.
I just hope he's big enough. I hope he's big enough to keep that dude off him because Canelo hits so hard, man.
That's one dude that, like, I believe all the shit he be talking.
Crawford? Yeah. Oh, he's good.
He don't just be saying shit.
They tried to say that like Errol Spence was damaged because of what Crawford did to him because he was damaged from the car accident. I'm like, maybe. Or maybe Crawford would have done that 3 years ago. I think he's that good. He's just so skillful. He's so slick. And when he gets, and he's also the best guy in the sport at switch hitting. He'll go from southpaw to orthodox and be just as good and trip you up. Like you think he's going to start southpaw, he starts orthodox. You prepare for orthodox, he's fighting southpaw. He feels like he's got you timed better orthodox, he'll switch it up.
It's super accurate.
Oh, like just knows so much about boxing, about where to be and what's coming, and
he's a strategist that's also entertaining.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
He's an artist.
Like remember like a young B-Hop.
Yes.
It was like just so sharp and made it look almost entertaining. You know what I mean?
Roy Jones in his prime. It was art. You were watching art. He's piecing up people. It was an art form. All right, Brian Simpson. Let's wrap this bitch up. Bring it home.
Let's do it.
Everybody, BS Comedian on Twitter, BS Comedian on Instagram.
BrianSimpsonComedy.com for tour tickets.
Netflix special.
Live from the Mothership.
Bam.
Streaming right now.
That's it. Thank you, brother.
Later, man. Thank
Bye. Thank you.
Oh,
right.
know what? One thing we forgot to talk about.
What?
I wanted to thank you for sending people to go watch that clip of WAP on YouTube.
Oh.
I got a lot of...
One of the best videos, or one of the best bits of all time. I love that bit. All right, go see it. It's on YouTube. Bye, everybody.